Hello, I'm Dynast Amir.
So I reached out to another friend of mine. I said, look, I need to go on vacation somewhere. Where should I go? He said, go to Africa. And not only am I going to go, I'm going to explore a new country. So I went to Tanzania, South Africa, Namibia, Mali, Senegal, Morocco, Liberia, Namibia, Kenya, the Voodoo Festival in Ouida, Gambia, Togo, Cote d'Ivoire. Sierra Leone, Ghana, Nigeria. It's been a beautiful experience, just learning more about our culture, our indigenous culture. So Uhuru means freedom in Swahili. I'm in search of my roots. In finding that, I would experience my Uhuru, which is freedom.
Till next time, Dynast Amir. I'm out.
Oh, hold on. The it's not focused for some reason. There we go. Peace, everyone. I hope all is well. I hope your Monday, hope your week is off to a great start. Do me a favor, hit the like button. No, this is a live show. We live, family. We live. Hit the like button. Also, make sure you share and make sure you subscribe to the platform if you are new. Join the family. Join the family. Do not be shy. We would love to have you be a part of the In Search of Uhuru family. Again, we would love for you to be a part of the In Search of Uhuru family. Dynasty, did I get my package? I got to check. I haven't got it yet, but I haven't checked the mail today. So, when I get it, I'll definitely let you know, but I have not received the package yet. I haven't received it yet. Guys, do me a favor, hit the like button again. Please hit the like button. Also, make sure you share the content. There's some people that could really use this information. So make sure you share. Also, tours. Well, before the tours, documentary. If you have not bought the documentary yet, In Search of Uhuru. Again, if you have not bought the documentary yet, In Search of Uhuru, please go to searchforuhuru.com. Again, please visit searchforuhuru.com. Not now, but right now. And make sure you buy the documentary. Guys, 1 second. Again, please go to searchforuhuru.com and buy the documentary. I would greatly appreciate it. I greatly appreciate everyone's support. It really means a lot. Again, it really means a lot. Tours. We have a couple tours coming up. We are rolling to Sierra Leone next month. Man, listen, we leave in about 30 days. In about 30 days, we head to what should be live? Yeah, we're live, guys. We're live. We should. Sorry. In 30 days, we are headed to Sierra Leone. Please come and join us. I got one more spot. I can make room for one more person. Again, I can make room for one more person. So please visit Danfo DANFO.Africa. Again, please visit Danfo DANFO.Africa to learn more. Citizenship is available. to those who qualify. Again, citizenship is available to those who, oh, that's the wrong passport. That's my Nigerian passport. Here we go. Citizenship is available to those who qualify. Again, citizenship is available to those who qualify for Sierra Leone. So again, please visit Danfo, DANFO .Africa, everyone. There we go. And if you have your African ancestry DNA results, you are eligible for the passport. And I am taking a group to Sierra Leone next month so they could go and get sworn in by the president and receive their passport. So looking forward to that. Please do not delay that. I know some people are coming in April. An official ceremony has not been announced yet for April, but we're still rolling to April. We're still rolling to Sierra Leone in April. Regardless, again, we're still rolling to Sierra Leone in April, regardless, citizenship ceremony or not. So if you want to go to Sierra Leone with us in April, go to Danfo.Africa. But if you want to go in November, please visit Danfo.Africa as well. Also, I'll do a later show. I will do another show later on tonight in regards to the Senegal trip. So we're rolling to Senegal in May for the Jazz Festival. Again, we're rolling to Senegal in May for the Jazz Festival. I think that one is May 21st to the 30th. Again, May 21st to the 30th, Senegal. We're going to have a great time. I love Senegal. Absolutely love Senegal. Well, I love all these countries, but Senegal holds a special place in my heart. Again, Senegal holds a special place in my heart. So I will do another stream later on tonight in regards to Senegal. And so you can also come and join us in Senegal. Let's jump into the show. So I voted today. Today I voted. There was no suppression, no voter suppression. I literally pulled up to a voting poll or polling station, whatever you want to call it, in the Black community. And listen, there was no suppression. I literally walked in, showed my ID, filled out a form. I did. I voted for Herschel Walker. Yes, I did. I voted Republican all the way down the line, down ballot Republican. All right. If you have Republican attached to your name, you got Dynasty Amir's vote. But let me tell you how easy the process was. All right. No voter suppression. I pulled up, parked my car, and where I voted, predominantly Black. I voted in Union City, Georgia. I live in Atlanta. I voted South. Well, Union City is considered kind of Atlanta, but it's in no, is that considered Atlanta? South Atlanta. We'll just say I voted in South Atlanta. Listen, I pulled up, parked my car off of Flat Shows Road, 85 South. That's where I make it right. The library on the right. I think that's Union City. Again, I believe that's Union City. Hold on, let me look this up real quick. Library, Flat Shows Road. Yeah, is it Union City? Yeah, it's Union City. Okay, Fulton County, Union City. I voted at the Gladys S. Denard Library at South Fulton. Okay, that's considered. So it says here South Fulton, Georgia. Then it says Union City, whatever. South Fulton County. There we go. South Fulton County. So yeah, listen, I pulled up. No voter suppression. No voter suppression. I walked in, showed my ID. They gave me a clipboard with a form. I filled it out, signed my name, went, checked in, got a little green card, put it into the slot, and everybody that was Republican got my vote. Okay, if you have Republican next to my name, you got my vote. So I voted for Herschel Walker. I voted for Kemp. I voted for Burt Jones, my ex-teammate at the University of Georgia. Again, I voted for my old teammate, Burt Jones. Me and him played ball together at the University of Georgia, voted for him. I voted Republican all the way down ballot Republican. So listen, I hope Herschel pulls it off on November 8th. We got about 3 weeks to go. And listen, I'm looking forward to it. So I went and early voted today. But hold on, let me back up for a second. So I went to the gym this morning, and so the closest, I guess, polling station, whatever you want to call it, where you could vote, the closest place to my gym was a library off of Ponce de Leon. Again, it was a library off of Ponce de Leon. Now, that's a predominantly, I guess you could say, white area. And not that line was long. Again, that line was long. So listen, I left. I had to pick somebody up, take them home, and they lived in Fulton, South Fulton County in Union City. So then I just went on to this library in Union City, and I voted there. Was in and out 10 minutes. No voter suppression. No white supremacists telling me I can't vote at the front door. None of that. Walked in, showed my ID. Morningside Park area. No, it was off of Ponce. Like when you cross over Freedom Parkway, you go down like another mile before you get to Highland Avenue. Like right before you get to Highland, there's a library on the left. So you pass the Kroger, old school Murder Kroger. If y'all from Atlanta, y'all know Murder Kroger. So old school Murder Kroger, which they renovated. You pass there, cross over Freedom Parkway. Then the library is on the left. And so I went there. That line was long as hell, almost wrapped, almost coming out of the library, almost to the street. So I was like, I'll just go vote somewhere else. So I had to go take a friend home. She stays inside, Union City. So I went on and voted at this library off of flash shows. Herschel Walker declined to participate in the recent senatorial debate yesterday. Yeah. Why? He already whooped Warnock's butt. For what? You can't run the fade back like that fast. Yeah, I mean, Warnock got that fade. Warnock got his butt kicked. What else is there to see? Down the street from the Chevron, right before you get on 85, correct. And there's a Waffle House, correct. The one off of Flash Shows is down the street from the Chevron, and around the corner, and that Chevron's around the corner from the Mercedes dealership. The one off of Flash Shows in Union City. But yeah, Warnock caught that fade, man. Warnock got his butt kicked on a Friday. Last Friday, Herschel Walker put that thing on Warnock during that debate. Listen, NYS is going red. What's NYS? Yeah, but Walker won. Walker won the debate hands down. He won the debate. So what? Warnock talk about he want to come run it back on a Sunday? Nah, he ain't got time to. Listen, Walker already won. It's over. You underestimated the man. He came. You think Black Bambi, you think New York State's gonna go red? Black Bambi, listen, if New York State goes red, I owe you a chicken dinner. Listen, if New York State goes red, I owe you a chicken dinner if New York State goes red. I don't know, Black Bambi. I don't know about that one. But that'll be interesting. That'll be interesting. It needs to go red. Crime is out of control. People defecating in the middle of the street in New York. Crime is out of control. Hold on, I'm gonna show you guys something. Well, let me finish my story first, and then I'm gonna show you something about New York. What's going on in New York City? Same thing with LA. Yeah, too many fools in New York City and LA. I don't know why. Yeah, so I don't know if you the Chevron you're talking about. There is a Chevron down the street from the library, and that Chevron's around the corner from the Mercedes dealership. But the line was long in the white area. Listen, in the white community, the line was long. I went to the one in the black community. I was in and out. So listen, guys, no voter suppression. No voter suppression. I was in and out in 10 minutes. Easy. All right. Like I said, that whole voter suppression lawsuit that Stacey Abrams filed was some BS. Again, that whole voter suppression lawsuit was a waste of money. See that emoji? Thank you for being honest. I'm a double dog, and I have to admit that I'm a double dog, and I have to admit that I underestimated Herschel. He came off more articulate than I expected during the debate. See? Yeah, they think black people don't know how to go get an ID. Then the other argument was, listen, the lines are too long. Okay, well, you have early voting. How about not wait to the last minute to vote? So what does that say about Warnock? Because the bar for Walker was already on the floor. So what does that have to say about Warnock when Walker clearly beat Warnock in that debate? What does that have to say about Warnock? Yeah, black folks don't know how to get an ID now to go vote. I mean, we know how to pay our T-Mobile bill, our Metro PCS bill, our Boost Mobile bill. We know how to buy TVs. Listen, one thing that's consistent amongst black people globally. Again, one thing that's consistent amongst black people globally. I don't care how poor you are. Black folks gonna have a TV and a cell phone. Again, black folks are gonna have a TV and a cell phone, no matter how poor they are. So you trying to tell me all these black folks that got a TV and a cell phone, all right, that know how to pay their cable bill, know how to pay their Boost Mobile bill, they don't know how to get an ID? You really want me to believe that? Do you really want me to believe that? That's how they think about you guys. They think you guys are really that dumb and that oppressed, where you don't know how, they think you do not know how to get an ID to vote. Then they push this lie about voter suppression. This is what they were fighting. Listen, when it came to voter suppression, this is what they were fighting. Listen. Let me tell you how stupid this is and how this cost us the All-Star game here in Atlanta. All right, so if you didn't vote for 7 years, you were sent a notice. You were mailed a notice pretty much asking if you still want to be registered, or if you plan on voting, or if you moved. You were sent a form that you had to fill out, basically just asking, hey, are you who you say you are? Do you plan on voting? We're purging our polls. If you don't fill this out and return it to us within 30 days, you're no longer going to be registered to vote. So 7 years and 30 days, okay? You had to keep your voter, registration good to go. Or keep your voter registration valid. You had 7 years and 30 days. If you didn't do that, you were removed. Nothing wrong with that. And people were saying that's racist. But listen, your passport expires. You got to go renew your passport. You got to go renew your ID. You got to go renew your driver's license. Is that white supremacy too? Is renewing a passport and a driver's license also white supremacy? This is how, and the problem with this is when you make everything about white supremacy, what you do, you minimize the work that Malcolm X, MLK Jr., Medgar Evers, the work that they have to put in and what they have to experience. You minimize it by saying having to send in a form within 30 days just to verify who you are and that you're going to vote. That's white supremacy. That's what they were claiming was racist, and that's what cost us the All-Star game. And getting an ID. That's what they were trying to say was racist. Getting an ID and filling out a form after 7 years to mail in to keep your voter registration valid. That's what this fight was about. And rightfully so, they threw it out. Guys, give me a second. I'm dead serious. That's what this fight was about. That's what this fight was about. Literally, guys, I'm not exaggerating. That was this fight. That's what it was about. That Stacey Abrams putting up. So yes, I voted Republican. Herschel Walker, Brian Kemp, Burt Jones, all the other Republicans. That's who I voted for. My question is, does voting the GOP make it any better for Black Americans? If that's the case, look at the state of Black Americans in rural South. And are they any better or thriving more than city Blacks? Rural South, they're doing better than city Blacks. City Blacks are being gentrified. Look at LA. Where's the Black folks in LA? Where are they? What happened to them? Where are the Black folks in San Francisco? What happened to them? What's going on with the Black folks in the Bay Area in general? What's going on with the Black folks in Harlem, in New York City? What's happening to the Black folks? So the Black folks in the city are being pushed out anyway. Now, it was funny. So Stacey Abrams had Oprah and still didn't win. Listen, listen, this is how bad it is. Let me tell you how bad it is. Let me tell you how bad it is for Stacey Abrams and Raphael Warnock. They calling in Obama. Obama's supposed to come into this month to try to save their campaign. Obama's coming. But what's telling is they're not calling Biden to come. That's what's telling. Like, Biden is the president. They're not telling Biden to come. They didn't invite Biden for some reason. They invited Obama. What does that tell you? Okay, you're not inviting Biden, but you're not inviting Biden, but you're inviting Obama. What does that tell you? Somebody said he's watching TV from DC. I mean, think about it. Think about it. They're calling Obama. Obama's coming out here, not Biden. California's down to 6% blacks. No, it's actually 8%. I looked it up the other day. It's sad because even though black people make up 8% of the population in California, not LA. Okay, I'm thinking just LA. In LA, it's 8%. So even though LA black people make up 8% of the population in LA, black people make up 36% of the homeless in LA. Again, black people only make up 8% of the population of LA. No, it's not 6%, it's 8%. I think it's 8%. Black people make up 8% of the population in LA, but 36% of the homelessness. What does that tell you? %36 of the homelessness, 8% of the population. Yeah, but they not listening. They told Biden to stay at home. Biden is the president. They told him to stay at home. They calling in Obama. They calling in turncoat Obama. That's what they calling in. Turncoat Obama. So good luck with that. I think that's going to hurt. I think them calling Obama is going to hurt more. Now, I know to a lot of y'all, Obama is Jesus. I get it. Especially, the older folks who watch my show. Again, especially the older folks who watch my show. I know to the old folks, Obama is Jesus. You got a picture of white Jesus, and you got a picture of Obama right next to him. I get it. I know we disagree on Obama. I get it. Obama is Jesus. And listen, I'll be honest. When Obama won in 2008, I cried. Listen, I shedded a tear in 08. In 08, when Obama was giving that speech, listen, in 08, when Obama was giving that speech in Chicago, I guess at Lake Michigan, Jesse Jackson was crying. Oprah was crying on the front row. I was sitting on my couch. And so this is when I was getting ready to move to LA. So I was staying at my frat brother's house. I was staying with my frat brother's house with his sister, and someone else was staying at the house. And I remember the election was on, and I remember I was in the living room watching it, and I cried. A tear came down my eye when Obama won. I ain't even gonna lie. Listen, I'm not even gonna lie. And this is when I was selling insurance. I was doing a Medicare insurance for the citizens. And I remember that next day I was making my sales calls, my insurance calls, and I was going to these seniors' houses. And listen, they was crying too. They was crying too. And then listen, even after that, hold on, let me find this real quick. All the old black folks had this ebony magazine right here next to their Bible. Hold on. Listen, they all had this ebony. They all had this ebony magazine edition right here. Hold on, let me. And this was next to their Bible, right? Hold on, this was next to their Bible. This right here. Hold on, y'all remember this one? Hold on, it'll pull up. Here we go. Listen, let me share this. They had this one next to the Bible right here. This is what they had. Hold on one second. Let me share the screen. All of them had this ebony magazine next to their Bibles. Hold on, right here, bam. The Black Cool. The Black Cool. They all, listen, everybody was crying. They had the Black Cool ebony magazine next to their Bible. You know, listen. They all had, listen, everyone had this edition of the ebony magazine, the Black Cool. I remember like it was yesterday. I remember it was like it was yesterday. They had the Black Cool right here. Bam. They all had this. They all had this next to their Bibles, the Black Cool, on their coffee tables. Right there. Obama was God. Then listen. Now listen. 2012 came. I said, that Negro ain't getting my vote. I didn't even vote in 2012. I didn't even vote in 2012. Yeah, I'm like, man, this dude ain't doing nothing. But y'all, listen, black folks like y'all was giving Obama chance after chance, excuse after excuse after excuse. And to this day, y'all still making excuses for Obama. Not everyone, but a lot of y'all are. But I think because there are a lot of people now that are like, pretty much like, screw Obama. White liberals are pretty much who made Obama. Again, white liberals pretty much post president, post him being in the White House, they're the ones that really exalt Obama, and some black folks. But all the black folks that exalted Obama and loved and cherished Obama in 2008, he lost about half of them to present day. He don't have the same support. Yes, old black folks and white liberals who love Obama. Old black folks and white liberals who love Obama. I didn't vote in 2016. Listen, I'm going to tell you, I only voted in 2008 and 2020. And I voted again today. But I'm trying to figure out, did I vote even before that? I forgot. I remember I wrote, whenever Kasim, I think when Kasim Reed ran for mayor, I voted and I wrote in somebody. Though I didn't vote for Kasim. I wrote in somebody. Sean. I think I wrote in Sean. So but I forgot what year Kasim Reed ran for mayor. Was that 2015? Because mayor's what, 5 years? I don't know. But I think when Kasim Reed ran for mayor, I voted and I wrote in someone. But yeah, I sat out 2016. 2020. I don't know. Yeah, Obama, yeah, man, that dude. Yeah, but 2020, I voted for Trump. 2022. No, I take that back. So I guess 2017 is when Stacey Abrams ran against Kemp the first time. Was it 2017? No, I'm a registered Democrat. I'm a registered Democrat. Listen, I think I'm a registered Democrat. In fact, when I went in today to go vote, like one of the options on the format to fill out, it said, do you want a Democratic ballot, Republican ballot, or independent ballot? And so I asked the lady, I said, well, I'm registered Democrat, but I'm voting Republican. And she said, okay, it doesn't matter. Just circle you know, fill in the circle that of which ballot you want. So I filled in Republican. I went in there, I voted Republican. So yeah, man, that's yeah, so that's it, man. Yeah, so they bringing out Obama because they desperate. Yeah, they desperate. They're bringing in Obama. They are desperate, but it's not gonna help. I think it's gonna hurt more than it'll help, because then people will be like, "Hold on, why are you bringing Obama and not Biden? Biden's the president, not Obama." I mean, Obama's been out of office for like going on to 2 terms now. Let me ask you a question. So in 2012, I can't remember, was Bush out campaigning for Republicans in 2012? Again, was Bush out campaigning in 2012? See, that's weird. Obama's, yeah, that's weird. Like I said, they desperate. That's they desperate. They desperate bringing Obama. They are desperate bringing Obama out here to Atlanta or to Georgia. They are desperate, desperate. So I was like, why y'all bringing Obama and not Biden? Bring Biden. Anyways, listen, I hope Herschel Walker and Kemp, I hope they win. Especially Herschel Walker. I hope they win. So, all right, what else we got today? Oh, listen. Now I don't know much about Parler, the the social media app, but listen, guys, this is why, yeah, it needs to be over for Stacey. Again, Stacey pushed that BS. She lied for like 5 straight years on this voter suppression. Ain't no voter suppression. There's no voter suppression. But if you guys don't know, Kanye West is acquiring a social media site. He's been kicked off of Twitter. I think he's still on Twitter. But he's been kicked off of Instagram or suspended. So you know what? Instead of complaining, he said, you know what? If you can't have a seat at the table, you build your own table, and that's what he's doing. You can't be mad at him. Let's read the article. But yeah, I mean, if you can't have a seat at the table, you buy your own table, and that's what you know. I mean, that's what's up. If you can't have a seat at the table, you buy your own table. Period. That's what's up. This is from Reuters. Let's share the right, but I mean, he got kicked from Twitter. He got banned from Twitter, so he went and bought his own social media site. You can't get mad at that. Listen, the greatest president in my lifetime was Donald Trump. Okay, the greatest president in my lifetime was Donald Trump. Period. All right, let's see here. Kanye West agrees to buy social media app Parler. October 17th, American rapper Kanye West, who now goes by Ye, has agreed in principle to buy Parler, the social media platform popular among U.S. conservatives. Parent company Parliament Technologies said on Monday. Nashville-based Parler, which has raised about $56 million to date, said it expects the deal to close during the fourth quarter of 2022. It did not give a deal value. Parler was launched in 2018, has been reinstated on Google and Apple Inc.'s app stores after being removed following the U.S. Capitol riots of January 2021. Parler is one of several social media platforms, including Getter, Gab, and Truth Social, that position themselves as free speech alternatives to Twitter. Last month, Parler created a new parent company, Parliament Technologies Inc., as part of an overhaul. In an interview with Reuters Monday, Parliament Technologies Chief Executive Officer George Farmer said the deal talks with Ye began recently after Paris Fashion Week. In Paris, on October 3rd, Ye, who is also a fashion designer, wore a T-shirt emblazoned with the phrase "White Lives Matter." 4 days later, he made Instagram posts that several Jewish groups called anti-Semitic. Meta Platforms, which owns Instagram and Facebook, locked Ye out of his Instagram account for the post. Ye then moved to Twitter, posted on October 8th for the first time in 2 years. Twitter soon locked his account. The Parler deal came together quickly, CEO Farmer said, and Parliament was presented with an opportunity. The motivating factor with him was a discussion about Instagram blocking him. Farmer declined to comment on whether the deal includes a breakup fee if either party terminates it. Ye in September terminated his partnership with apparel retailer Gap Inc., while German sporting goods maker Adidas on October 6th said it's reviewing his business partnership with the rapper. Farmer said Monday he is not concerned about Parler's advertising prospects under Ye. I see this as a warning shot across the bow for companies that want to deplatform people, Farmer said. There are increasingly advertisers who want to advertise to this space. Ye seemed to have joined Parler on Monday and had about 91 followers at the time of the announcement. He now has 3,900. So I'm going to open up a Parler account, you guys. I'm going to open up a Parler account. In a world where conservative opinions are considered to be controversial, we have to make sure we have the right to freely express ourselves, he said in a statement. Farmer says Parler has 16.5 million registered users. Research firm Apptopia estimates the platform has been installed 11.7 million times since launch, which is an estimated 40,000 daily active users. Forbes estimates Ye to have a net worth of $2 billion. Shout out to Ye. Shout out to you. Oh, it's Ye. Okay, it's not Ye. It's Ye. My bad. It's Ye. Okay, not Ye. My bad. Ye. Like Kanye. Ye. Okay, my bad. Ye. I apologize, Kanye. I apologize, Ye. Yeah, I'm going to open up my account. Yeah, I'm going to open up my account. The new form of success, prosperity is money, social media, Wikipedia verified influencers on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, cars, homes, jewelry, good credit, Porsches, Lincolns, boat, travel. Nobody else counts. Hey, Johnny, call in. Johnny, call in. Expand on that. Let's expand on that real quick before we jump into Jordan Peterson. Listen, if you guys want to call in real quick and speak on this, we can. Then we'll jump into Jordan Peterson. But yeah, expand on that. Wikipedia verified influencers on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, cars, homes, jewelry. Good credit, Porsches, Lincoln, boat travel, nobody else counts. There you go. Here you go. Go ahead, Kofi.
Yeah. You said you voted for Herschel Walker. What policy? Because I'm not that familiar with Georgia. I used to live in Georgia, around Loganville, not too far from Stone Mountain. So I'm not too familiar with Warnock so much. So what is the policies that Herschel Walker has that's better than Warnock?
For me, I think you should leave out of the schools. This, if you are a boy and you identify as a woman, we should not pressure those boys to be women. I mean, that's what they're pushing. Leave the kids out of it. I mean, these are still babies. I mean, do you agree with that, Kofi? What the Democrats are pushing, that biological men should be women? Do you believe that a biological woman, a man who identifies as a woman, should be considered a woman?
No, and that's why I'm 100% conservative on that.
You said on that.
Well, like I said, it's foolish to be conservative with everything, or it's also foolish to be liberal on everything. Certain things you conservative, certain things you're liberal.
Did you vote in the last election?
The last election for what election? For presidential?
2016. Yeah, 2020, yes.
Yeah. I told you I voted for Biden the last election.
Okay. So this is what I don't understand. Biden said his first priority is transgender, like dealing with the trans community. That was his first priority. That's what he said out of his mouth. So I just don't understand. If you're not for that, why did you vote for Biden?
Well, like I said, the same thing with you in reverse. Trump was for a bunch of racists, and he were a whole bunch of law breaking. He lets criminals out of jail.
I need you to be specific on what legislation that Trump was going to pass for white supremacy and racism.
Like I said, he's the candidate.
Again, Kofi. Again, we're talking policy. You came on here, you led off with policy, okay? I presented you with policy that Biden's trying to pass. Biden already said he's going to add.
I was asking about Warnock.
No. Okay, no, don't. Warnock is Biden, okay? Warnock is Biden. All right. So
okay, in your opinion, okay.
Not my opinion. He voted along with Warnock 96% of the time. Warnock is Biden. So again, I'm confused. If his first priority was trans rights, right? If he's pushing policy, which Warnock is gonna sign off on, if he's trying to add transgenders to Title IX, why would you vote for Biden?
What does that have to do with the what's going on with them right now? I don't understand the correlation. Biden was president for about almost a year or so. What has to do with the midterms? I don't get it.
Because Warnock is a Democrat, and whatever Biden presents, he's going to vote for. Kofi, stop being disingenuous.
How is that being disingenuous?
I just answered the question. Warnock is a Democrat, and whatever Biden presents, he's going to support. All right, this is what they're pushing.
Agreed.
And again, like I said, this is policy. See, what you're saying about Trump isn't policy. You came on here and brought up policy. I discussed policy. Now you're trying to move the goalposts.
No, I asked what policy was Herschel Walker about.
Right. And Walker is against that policy, which he mentioned in his opening statement when he was debating Warnock.
Okay.
So
Brother, I
if
just
that
wanted to
is
know why you
so
voted
what
for
I'm saying,
Walker.
Kofi, if that is Joe Biden's number one priority, why did you vote for Joe Biden?
That's what you're saying, according to you. That's one of Joe Biden's agendas. Most of the things that Joe Biden said he was going to do, right, on the campaign trail, he didn't do. The only thing he did was student loan debt, and he's trying to roll that back. So campaign people make a lot of campaign promises, and you know that they don't stick to. Now, if Biden was to move forward on that, like you said, now if let's say for some reason,
but he said that. Like, I mean, for the life of me, do you have a daughter?
I have 5 children.
Do you have a daughter?
Yes, sir.
Would you want a man who identifies as a woman sharing the same space, intimate space, as far as locker rooms or softball teams?
No.
Okay, so why would you vote for Biden? So why would you vote for Biden?
That's not the only thing. Again,
but he said, okay, hold on. I'm about to pull this up right now.
You asked a question and I can't talk.
Okay. Here we go right here. Biden declares LGBTQ rights is number one legislative priority. Do you know what the T stands for in LGBTQ? Kofi, I'm asking a question. Do you know the?
Just let me know when I can talk, brother.
So Kofi. So again, just for the life of me, I don't understand. See, this is the problem, Kofi. I'm gonna tell you right now, man. And see, I gotta agree with black women when black women say that black men in America are just soft as hell. These white men like Donald Trump, these white men like Ron DeSantis has grown ass black men so freaking spooked that they will vote for legislation where boys who identify as women, grown ass black men, are so damn spooked over white men that they would rather have their daughters share the same intimate space with boys who identify as women. This shit is sick. And
now, can I see the legislation that Biden put for that, please? Even though I'm against it, let's see the legislation, because it sounds like you're just doing typical Republican scare tactics.
It's right here. It's right here. Biden declares LGBTQ rights is number one legislative priority. What are you talking about?
Now, okay, priority. Now, is it a law? Is it a federal law? Because this is Biden. He's at the federal level. Now, is it a federal law? Exactly. So, I just want to know what's going on. So, let's go back to the Georgia primary. So, you voted for Warnock. Now,
I didn't vote for
the thing about Herschel Walker that I disagree with.
I just find it weird how black men love to evade when it comes to this right here.
How did I evade? I asked you a question. You couldn't answer the question.
Biden said. This is what Biden said right
here. That's what he said.
And
is that what he did?
But just the simple fact that a president that you voted for came out and said that this is his number one priority, black men went and voted for him in droves.
So you agree with that everything that Trump says? Everything Trump says and do, you agree with?
Okay. See, this is the thing. You're trying to compare what Trump said.
No, I'm not trying to look at you saying that he did something that I just said I disagree with it, but you still want to beat a dead horse just because I vote for him. So I can ask you the same question in reverse. A lot of things that Trump did. How
can you compare anything that Trump did to wanting to make it where men who identify as women could play on the same sports team?
You want to split hairs. You're talking about the caliber. I'm talking about what is wrong. I said Biden doing that. Biden doing that or find that, because that's the party.
Here, let me show this to you. Hold on.
That's the party. Let me show this. So he has to push that.
And like I said, it's just weird as hell. Like black men, we soft as hell. We're soft as hell. So you're trying to tell me No, but you're trying to tell me that black men are this petrified of white men, where we have no problem with men
That's what you're
playing
saying.
and the same.
That's
And
what you're
no,
saying.
that's what you're saying. That's you.
That's
Because
what
every
you're.
time I talk, no. Every
Anyone can
time I
roll the
talk
tape
to a
back, and
black,
I didn't say
every
that.
time I talk, listen, every time I talk to a black man in regards to Donald Trump, it's always some. Oh man, these white supremacists, like white supremacists.
When did I say anything about white supremacists?
It's
I
like
said
white
nothing about white
supremacy is under your
supremacists.
guys' beds.
You're
But
being
you have to rather
dishonest.
vote for
I said
stuff like
nothing
this.
about white people, white
Listen.
supremacists at
Here we
all.
go. Here we go. Amid protests, Penn swimmer Leah Thomas becomes first known transgender athlete to win Division I national championship.
Keep beating that dead horse.
This is a woman swimming with. I mean, this is a man. This is a man with a wig swimming with women, and y'all don't have a problem with that. And listen, I'm for rights for everybody.
I don't know who y'all is.
If you listen,
Unless you have comprehension problems, I just said I disagree with it. So you can pull up 9 more examples. I'm still gonna say I disagree with it.
Listen, if you are LGBTQ, that's fine, but leave the children out of it. And no, transgender women should not be competing in the same sports as women. Period.
Agreed.
But it's who you vote for. And again, this is what Biden said.
That's not what I vote for. Where's the policy put in place for that?
Oh my
God. You're doing fear mongering, and you're lying.
How am I fear mongering? He said it. And it's happening.
Yes,
right
he
now.
said it. Trump said like he was going to build the wall. He didn't build the wall. Trump said he's going to drain the swamp. He didn't drain the swamp.
Go ahead, Shirley. Go ahead, Shirley.
No, I want to ask you one question and I'm gone.
These are the men that are leading our community, Shirley.
Bro, can I ask you one question and I'm gone? You can say whatever.
No, stay online. Stay online. Go ahead, Shirley.
Coffee. Let me ask you, my brother. You voted
for
this
man. This is not gonna be an assassination where he
No, that's
y'all
not
can kick me off. I don't care because this is very cowardly and very sad. I just want to ask him one question. I'm not trying to disrespect his panel. I'm not trying to disrespect his channel. You know what I'm saying? He has a view. I want to express my view. This is my second time on here and I can't express my view because I'm being overtalked. I asked me a question. I asked him a question. He can't even answer the question. I'm asking, is it a law? He knows it's not a law. So what's the beef? I just want to ask him one question and I get off. When he first came on, I want to ask about Herschel Walker. So he's fine with voting for Herschel Walker, a man that's a liar. He lied about he was a police. This is a man that beat up his wives and his girlfriends, put guns to their head. This is a man that admits that he has.
Let me ask you a question.
This is a man that said that he was against abortion.
Question?
So he got an abortion.
I'm glad you're able to give us a dissertation of Herschel Walker.
This guy is dishonest.
What is your question? We know
that was my question. That's my question. Did Dynas know that Herschel Walker did all these things when he was voting? That's my only question.
Listen. I'm very aware, but guess what?
Okay, that's all I want to know, brother. Thank you.
Right, but
that's
guess
all I
what? That you know what? But guess what? If it's up to Herschel, if I have a daughter, I ain't got to worry about no boys playing in competing with her in a swim league, in a female swim league. So I'll listen.
That's true too. That's the trade-off. That's also as a man. It's also you showing children as a man. It's okay to beat up on women.
I want to go back to when you originally came home.
Take care of your kids.
Can I ask you?
Well, hold on. Well, I'm sorry. You know, Warnock beat his woman too, right, Kofi? You know that, correct?
He put. That's why I asked you about Warnock. I'm not too familiar with Warnock. You know, but if Warnock did that, that's also despicable. I don't know. Is it to the level of Herschel Walker?
Listen,
I don't know.
Warnock allegedly beat his wife too. Ran her foot over.
Allegedly, but we know Herschel Walker did this like 2-3 times. So it's not alleged. That's a fact.
So what homework have you done on Warnock? You've done a lot of homework on Herschel Walker. I want to know what homework have you done on Warnock? Because it seems like you don't have a familiarity of Warnock, but you're really good at.
Yeah, and I admitted that. So what me saying that, Dynas also said, hey, look, Warnock did that as well. I didn't know that, and I believe Dynas that actually happened.
I think, to be fair,
well, hold on. Let
me
read this.
If he knew about that,
hold on, one minute. Let me read this to this. All right, so this is HR 5. This passed the House on February 25th, 2021. This bill prohibits discrimination based on sex, sexual orientation, and gender identity in areas including public accommodations and facilities, education, federal funding, employment, housing credit, and the jury system. Specifically, the bill defines and includes sex, sexual orientation, and gender identity among the prohibited categories of discrimination or segregation. The bill expands the definition of public accommodations to include places or establishments that provide exhibitions, recreation, exercise, amusement, gatherings, or displays, goods, services, or programs, and transportation services. The bill allows the Department of Justice to intervene in equal protection actions in federal court on account of sexual orientation or gender identity. The bill prohibits the individual from being denied access to a shared facility, including a restroom, a locker room, and a dressing room that is in accordance with individual gender identity. There it goes, bro. There it goes, Kofi. There it goes.
Yes, and what you just read there is something basically saying they should not be discriminated against because of their sexual orientation.
Oh, God,
that's nothing. What's new about that? Wait. So hold on.
Kofi, do you see the part where it says gender identity?
Yes.
Do you see the part where it says including restrooms and locker rooms? Do you see that part?
Yes, and I disagree with that. Now, a transgender person dresses up. Hold on, let me talk. Can I talk? And so when they says locker room, so you have a woman that thinks she's a dude, or a dude that think he's a woman. Yes, he could walk into that bathroom. I disagree with that. But so basically what you're trying to say is that we should discriminate against it. Again, I don't agree with it. But in the other hand, you have to say, I am discriminating. I don't want that. You're basically discriminating again because of our position. So what they're going to say, so Trump is for the LGBTQ community too as well, right? Trump is not anti-LGBTQ. It would be retarded for any politician to be anti-LGBTQ. Am I right or am I wrong?
You're completely missing the point.
I'm not missing the point.
Yes, you.
Yes,
okay,
you are missing the point because
wait. So Trump is anti-LGBTQ. Is that what you're telling me?
Trump is not even president right now. Dynas is trying to explain to you current policies. You came on here and the first thing you said was, well, let's see what Trump has done compared to what Biden has done. And what we're saying is we're not
that's a lie.
That's no lie. Go back to the beginning.
I asked about Warnock. He pivoted.
No, you started off talking about we was talking about Biden compared to Trump and the policies that Biden put in the office. Here he is providing you a policy of the LGBT that want to have themselves with private little children. I just posted something where this little girl got raped by someone who was protruding to be a girl.
Now y'all don't care about rape. Y'all for abortion. Republicans are for not for abortion for women who get raped. For incest. Y'all are not y'all not for that. So let's not talk about rape. Because y'all still sticking to your guns when it comes to abortion, no matter if it's rape or incest. So let's not do that to yourselves.
Okay, that's a lie.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
That's a lie. All right, okay, cool. Anyone can Google. Anyone knows about the little 10-year-old girl that got raped and she couldn't get an abortion. She had to go to another state to get an abortion.
Are you familiar with written policies? Coffee. Are you familiar with Biden's written policies?
That is a state policy. When that 9-10-year-old girl got raped, she couldn't get an abortion in that state because abortion was illegal for everything, for rape or incest. That's why that little girl had to go to another state in order to get it, because that's a state policy that they have in a red state. Red states are okay with women getting raped. And then they have to make the full term.
Because you're not a woman, but you won't even let us have a point on what we're trying to say. When it comes to Joe Biden and his policies that he put together, if we're going back, since we're talking about black people, let's talk about black people. What about the crime law? What about the 1994 crime bill?
See, now you want to move the goalposts. You just said rape, sister, so I'm talking about rape.
One mic. You just moved the goalpost. You brought up how Republicans. I'm not. Listen, I respect my LGBTQ community, but there's a certain. I mean, there's like a certain, I think, line that shouldn't be crossed. All right, you shouldn't be forcing this stuff
And
down.
I agree. So my question to you: how would you combat that without being anti-LGBTQ?
No, Kofi, you do agree, because when Joe Biden said that was his number one priority, you still voted for the guy.
Now
again, if you are for LGBTQ, but you're not for, and you're disagree, like how I disagree with, transgender men could go in the bathroom and in sports, like how I do, and you're for them, and they are a part of the LGBT community, how will we combat that politically?
The reality is you don't disagree. You agree with it, but you're saying you disagree.
I'm talking to Dynast.
You're saying you disagree because you know that in our community, to admit that you agree with transgenders going in women's restrooms would make you a pariah. Listen, this guy's trying to play both sides of the aisle. Kofi will sell every last one of us out to support anything the Democrats put out there. And there's a lot of black people.
And that's your kumbaya view.
He's another version of Warnock.
That's your Republican kumbaya view.
No, bro. Bro, we're listening to you. We're listening to you.
Agree that we're not anti-LGBTQ, but we don't like what's
there
going
are
on.
Three black people. Listen, bro.
How do you combat that as we're on the same page?
Nobody is dumb enough. Nobody is dumb enough to fall for your trick, Kofi. You tried the same thing on my channel.
You can't answer my question either, so you can't. So you're just gonna just.
How do we combat it? By voting Republican.
Something else that has nothing to do
let me answer your question.
Let
me answer your question. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, all the Democrats have proven that they are on board with this agenda that we don't approve. So how do we combat it? Voting third party or Republican. So which party are you going to vote for instead of Democrat next election? That's how we combat it. You said, how do we combat it? Not voting Democrat. So who are you going to vote for, Kofi?
I'm supposed to vote for candidates that's not even, there's no presidential candidates here right now. If I have there's a candidate right now that say, hey, look.
So what you were going to say is,
can I answer?
No, you're not answering the question.
Oh my God.
You're not answering. I answered your question directly, and you're giving me word salad.
You keep talking.
Dynast, did I answer his question directly?
That's a
Republican. I didn't say anything about it.
Ask the question, not wanting to know the answer. Because I said 2 words, and you jumping down my throat.
Let him finish. Go ahead. Go ahead, Kofi. Answer the question.
I said I don't know who is going to be running yet, right? If whoever is going to be running, I'm looking for that person that has the same values that I have when it comes to LGBTQ. Strategically, that's who I'm going to vote for, because I'm not going to vote for a left-wing candidate that's going to push
values. What are your values? What are your values?
What do you mean? What are my values? I'm a black man in America.
But anything that aligns with
that.
How is that a value by saying you're a black man in America? How does that pertain to values? Give us a breakdown of your values.
He said He said his LGBTQ values. So I'm asking,
what are you talking about? You have trannies on your channel. What the fuck?
That's okay. That shows you I'm not a
hypocrite. You got fucking trannies on your joint talking about you against.
I have no problem with trannies,
and you're against. Hold on, stop. You have trannies on your channel. Like, you got no room to talk.
Goddamn, Kofi, chill out, Kofi. There's a difference. Okay, so Brandon has a daughter, okay, who plays volleyball. There's a difference with somebody from a trans community coming on his platform versus somebody in the trans community changing the same locker room with his daughter, Kofi.
No, Dynast, a girl got knocked unconscious by a transgender athlete in high school. He hit the ball so hard, he knocked this girl unconscious. Wow. Okay? It's literally a danger. Go over to Greg Foreman's channel, The Black Conservative Perspective. His last video was about a girl who got knocked unconscious in a high school volleyball game because a transgender athlete was allowed to play on the girls' team.
Keep beating that dead horse because that's something that we all agree with.
Everything's
but y'all have to find something.
No, we don't, Kofi. You're trying to say you agree with us.
Well, you
really
got
don't.
shit in your ears because again, I said that I agree with Dinas. I don't agree with trans men going.
But
to
Joe Biden defends that.
I don't agree. So,
you
Joe
voted
Biden's
for
my
that.
son?
You voted
Joe
for
Biden's
that.
my son.
You voted for that.
Okay, and you voted for racists, insurrectionists, and people who get raped, and all that, and they can't get abortions.
But I'm not disowning it. You're disowning the guy you voted for.
So don't pretend that you care about children and kids if you're okay with fucking 9-year-old kids getting raped and can't get abortions.
What? That's not.
You own that. That. That's the Republican Party.
You're making that up. What 9-year-old kid can get pregnant? Show me the case of the case of the 9-year-old kid getting pregnant.
And I'll own and you own 9-year-old, 10-year-old women getting raped and incest, and they can't get an abortion in the Republican states.
Hold on, Kofi. Kofi, do you understand the heartbeat law here in Atlanta?
Heartbeat
law here in Atlanta, Kofi.
I'm familiar with the heartbeat law, and the one in Atlanta not so much. But I get the gist of the heartbeat law. Yeah.
In Georgia, okay. What's the heartbeat law in Georgia, Kofi?
I told you I don't know the heartbeat law specifically in Georgia, but I'm familiar with the heartbeat law.
Okay, so Kofi, one of the exceptions in the heartbeat law here in Georgia is
the heartbeat law is basically self-explanatory. It's basically saying if the embryo is science, so some Republicans are not going to get this. If the embryo has a heartbeat, you cannot abort it after a certain amount of weeks.
Hold on. Okay, and Kofi, what are the exceptions to it in it that are written into it?
The one for Georgia, I'm not sure.
Okay, is rape and incest.
Right. Which is the case in most states.
Right, which is the case in most states.
What you mean in most states? Not most states.
In all states,
Louisiana, other states, it doesn't matter. You can't get abortion under no circumstances. That's a real thing. That's the only thing that exists in redneck states. Anybody could Google this. Do you guys have your head in the sand that long that you don't understand what's going on?
Kofi,
anybody listen to this? Just Google abortion laws and Republican states that are not allowing women to get an abortion under no.
Dinah, I have a question for Kofi. I've been quiet. Dinah, I just have a question for Kofi.
One second, Shirley. Kofi, I just told you they are allowing it in Georgia, which is a Republican state.
Okay. I have to believe it until I see otherwise. I'm not gonna just say no just to sound right. If that's the case, if you say that's what it is, that's what it is. I haven't lived in Georgia since 2008. I used to live in Loganville, Snellville.
Okay. All right, so this is the difference between Donald Trump and the guy who voted for Biden. Donald Trump was American first. Joe Biden was LGBTQ first, and you went with Joe Biden.
Donald Trump was Make America Great Again. Right, so y'all want to be back in 1855. That's what Donald Trump was for first.
Yep.
Make America great again. When was the America great for black people?
1855. Black people in America have more wealth and land in 1855 than they got right now.
They were slaves in 1855. What are you talking about?
They still have more land than they got right now. They still got more land than they still have more land than they got right now.
I'm done, bro. I'm done.
Right. See, that's the whole thing. Kofi's just
you don't even know your history, bro.
I do know my history.
Brandon,
I'm being dumb like him.
This one. In 1855, we were still slaves.
Shirley, I know, Shirley, I know that, but I'm being dumb like Kofi. I'm just throwing stuff out like he does and then trying to retract it later on. The whole point is, we know when Donald Trump says "Make America,"
was better
could you stop interrupting me? Could you stop interrupting me, please? All that stuff. These are liberal tactics. Listen, when Donald Trump was talking about "Make America Great Again," anybody who's dumb enough to think he meant 1855 is just making a disingenuous bad faith argument. You know he didn't mean that, but you want to throw that out there because you're trying to conflate two different things. Kofi is hopelessly like he's enslaved by the Democratic Party, because in his mind, he's saying if you're black, you got to be Democrat. And this is the case amongst a lot of first generation, second generation immigrants, right? Even Haven Bullets. I was talking to him today in Twitter. I said, Haven, you still support Democrats? Yeah, because I support Democrats because I support black people. I'm like,
Brandon, you scared the man off. Now he off.
No, that's okay. No. But I'm just saying, this guy, these people think that being black is synonymous with being Democrat. And that's not the case. This guy basically is saying Malcolm X is wrong, because Malcolm X told us the white liberals way worse than the white conservative. So what he's saying is, F you, Malcolm X. The person who I have allegiance to more than you is Joe Biden. Right? And that's what a lot of our people are doing. And this is why our people are turning on Kanye West. Well, even though Kanye West is saying everything we've been saying for decades, and saying this Kanye West is saying the stuff that we literally used to wish rappers and athletes would say and admit and expose. Right or wrong, Dynast?
You are correct.
But when he says it like a bunch of dogs trying to fight over a piece of bacon, we turn on him, which only strengthens my position more. It don't matter what you try to make up about black people in America. We love this white man. We even love the abuse that he bestows upon us. We love this game, this trap. And anybody who speaks about getting out of it is going to get attacked. Period. You got the richest black man who ever lived in America.
Brandon, hold on a second. I'm going to say this and I'm going to get off. I was going to ask that man about the crime bill. No one continues to talk about how Joe Biden put this bill together, this crime bill that basically called black people super predators in 1994. Now, you knew all this piece of legislation that got passed through this man, but you still voted for this man.
We voted for the legislation too, Shirley. That's the problem. We wanted that bill. Black Caucus signed on.
But this is a man who said earlier he doesn't know any policies regarding black people that we were affected by this.
He's lying. He's lying to you, Shirley. He's been on my channel. I brought all this up. He doesn't care.
Yeah, but coming from a Republican perspective, isn't that a good thing? Aren't you guys always harping on how much crime is so high in the black community? Wouldn't that help the black community? Okay, then. So then state it when you're saying it. Say I have no problem.
When did I move?
Say it.
Have you heard me bring it up? My father is a victim of the crime bill, and I have my father on my channel.
Is he a victim, or was he a perpetrator that got caught in the crime bill? Don't tell me to stop, Brandon. This ain't your platform. I can speak.
You're interrupting me.
I'm not interrupting you. You were speaking for 5 minutes. I said nothing.
He's a perpetrator. Right. He's a criminal.
Right.
Who did crime
and he deserves his time. Right.
He deserves it. Yeah.
So he's not a victim. He's not a victim. He's a victim of the crime bill. You say he was a victim of it. He's not.
That's a bad choice of words. He's a person who did a crime and got caught and went to jail, and everybody who was in that who got caught up. But what I use it for is for black people who say, well, we don't like the 94 crime bill, but we do like Joe Biden. See what I'm saying? Stop complaining about the crime bill. If you love the guy who made it, just accept it. I don't have a problem with the crime bill. You know what I'm saying? Because I know niggas don't know how to act. But when I talk about the crime bill, it's to point out the hypocrisy of the people who want to talk against the crime bill, but then turned around and voted for the guy who put the crime bill in place.
All right, let me just get 2 minutes and put this off my chest. Speaking to Dynast, right? You live in Atlanta, bro. That's the gay capital for black people. There's a lot of transsexual black people in Atlanta, Georgia. So you can't come on here and act like you're not for. You probably got friends who are transsexual. You probably got friends who are gay.
He never said he wasn't for that.
No, he said that's the reason he can't vote for Warnock, because he supports that. He supports transsexual rights and gay rights.
Look, clean out your dirty Liberian ears. He said he doesn't approve.
No, you clean out your fat baloney hair, nigga.
Okay.
Don't come here trying to insult. I didn't insult anybody. I didn't insult nobody. Don't start the insult.
Listen.
Don't start the insult, Brandon.
If you could hear, he said
no. I listened to the entire show.
No, you didn't.
I listened to the show. I listened to the show. And that's what diners do. He won't bring anybody on that disagrees with him until he thinks he got enough people that backs him up.
Bro, you're
that's
lying.
A cowardly thing to do,
you're
bro.
Lying.
Kofi,
you're lying. You're lying. Dinah said that he wasn't.
Not Kofi, bro. I'm Elvis.
I mean, you're sounding like Kofi. Listen, he said he doesn't approve of transgenders being allowed to play in women's sports and go and use women's bathrooms.
You sound stupid as hell. White people say the same thing about black people. They didn't want you niggas around them. That's why that's why Jim Crow was passed. And you think that's good?
So you think that's good? So you're comparing transgenders to black people.
That's what the white people did, and you're doing the same damn thing right now.
You're doing that right now.
What does transgender mean? What does transgender means?
Someone who believes that they are a different sex.
No. To be transgender, you have to transform from a man to a woman. You have to cut your dick off and all that.
You don't get out the hell out of here, Elvis.
Don't even know what
transform.
What does transgender mean? Tell me. What does it mean?
Weird,
what does it mean?
I was going to tell you, but you interrupted me.
No. Can a man be a man and still be a transgender? Tell me. What does it mean? What does the word mean? Tell me what it means.
Interrupting me. I'll tell you the textbook definition.
Go ahead.
Transgender person who believes is a person.
I'm going to Google it right now.
Listen,
I'm not going to take your word for it.
A transgender person is a person who believes that they are a different gender other than the one that they were assigned at birth. So it's a man who has a penis who believes that he's actually a woman. A woman who has a vagina who believes she's actually a man. They believe they were misgender at birth. They were like given the wrong gender. That's exactly what and you do not have to go through sexual gender reassignment surgery to be transgender.
True. That is very true.
You don't know what you're talking about. Elvis is like a low IQ person. I just destroyed him about climate change on my channel a couple weeks ago. He's still mad about that. These people don't read. They're not very educated, but they have an opinion and a loud mouth. And it's okay. Because it's a teachable moment.
I know what I don't know, and I told you in that debate. I'm not a person who.
Look,
I told you that. I'm not an ultra crepidarian who thinks I know everything about everything. I know what my strengths are. So I'm not a.
But you know what, Brandon? You know what where the tragedy lies, Brandon. Uninformed people like Elvis and Kofi got us in the situation that we're in today.
Yes.
By going out and voting for this clown in office right now.
Yes, that's why I believe
That's the problem.
I think they.
What did Trump do for black people? What did Trump do for you, Dinus, when you voted for him? What did he do for you? You always ask Democrats, what is Democrats doing for black people? What are the Republicans doing for black people?
First,
what is Scott doing for black people?
Hold on. Well, I can tell you right now, Elvis. I can tell you right now. Listen, we wouldn't be at the risk of nuclear war right now.
Sure wouldn't.
Sure. I mean, that's number one.
Oh, Joe Biden attacked Ukraine, right? He attacked Russia, right? He attacked Russia. Russia didn't attack Ukraine on their own, right? That's Biden's fault. Thanks, Obama.
But was this going on when Trump was in office? Trump had that shit under control. Nobody respects Biden on a global level. No one.
Elvis, you think this is funny? This is not a funny issue. He's absolutely right. No one respects Trump. I'm not Trump. No one respects Biden.
What happened with North Korea? Trump was in office.
He had North Korea under control.
What happened there?
Listen, Elvis, Trump went to North Korea.
No, he went to South Korea, not North Korea.
You don't want to
listen. This is what
listen.
Not even South Korea. I think it was Singapore or something.
Oh my God! See, this is where we're at right now. This is where we're at.
Crazy.
This is where we're at.
You said Trump went to North Korea. He never went to North Korea. It was South Korea. Oh, I think they had a meeting in Singapore or something like that. It wasn't North Korea. I'm just making that fact. Said it right.
He's a liar. Elvis is a liar as usual. Trump met Kim Jong Un at the DMZ. In North Korea, the demilitarized zone, right in between North Korea and South Korea.
Right on the border, and he crossed the border with them. Don't you remember
this
that?
guy?
I know the South Korean president crossed the border with the North Korean president.
Trump met the North Korean president at the DMZ.
At the border, right?
This guy does. Listen, this guy wanted to argue.
Hold on, one mic. I'm about to play it right now. One mic. I'm about to play the video right now of Trump crossing the border. God, this is the reason why we're in the situation that we're in right now. Because people
let us see it, Dynasty. We can't see it.
Kofi. I'm about to pull it up right now. Hold on, I'm pulling it up right now. Give me a second. Hold on, my bad. Hold on, guys.
In the meantime, you've got Russia. And you have the issue going on with China and how they're partnering up. We as the American people are looking weak under this administration. And yet you're going to defend it? We as Black people are being even more oppressed and suppressed and overcome by immigrants and illegals who are being given
North
rights
Korea
and money.
In the no man's land of the demilitarized zone, or DMZ.
Hold on one second. Let me mute myself.
Walking faster to catch up. The two leaders shook hands. Trump on South Korean soil. Kim Jong-un in the north.
Did you hear that?
Look, North Korea.
Did you hear that?
On the border.
Trump was in South Korea. Kim Jong-un was in North Korea.
Only by a narrow concrete strip.
Where they at now, Elvis? Where they at now? Where they at now, Elvis? Where they at now?
Like me to come across the line.
Golly, man.
Elvis,
hold on, but what mic? Hold on, let me mute. So, Elvis, you said Singapore. You said Singapore.
Where Singapore come from, man?
They had a meeting in Singapore too. You know that, right? You know that, right? Two things could be true at the same time. They had a meeting in Singapore. Didn't that?
Elvis,
it was Singapore or Malaysia, but one of those. Did they not have a meeting there? Tell me if they didn't.
Elvis.
No. I'm asking you a question. They had a meeting there, didn't they?
Y'all, you guys want to understand why we're in the situation we're in right now? Look, Elvis just can't shut up for 2 minutes, okay? Elvis, I said at the beginning that Trump went to North Korea and met with the president. You said no, they met in Singapore. I just played the video of them in Singapore. Them in North Korea.
Did they also meet in Singapore?
Oh, but Elvis, listen.
It's my question. If you say they didn't meet in Singapore, you'll be wrong because they also did before they even went to North Korea.
Listen. Golly, man. Elvis, listen. Be quiet. I said that Trump met the president of North Korea in North Korea. You said no, Elvis. He didn't. Once again, Elvis, you said no, he didn't. That they met in Singapore. I just showed you the video of Trump meeting with the president in North Korea, and you still on some Singapore. Your argument was that they didn't meet in North Korea, that they met in Singapore. I just showed you that they met in North Korea.
Did they meet in Singapore too?
It doesn't matter.
No. Because you're saying I'm wrong, but I'm not. Because they did before they even went to the DMZ. They met in Singapore at a conference before they went.
I'm muting Elvis. You're wrong because you said that they didn't meet in North Korea. Elvis, you can't be this slow. See, Elvis, this is how I know Liberia is fucked up. Because of people like, you see, Kyle's
this is why. Retarded
hold on. This is right, Elvis. This is why your tribe, when they did what they did, they fucked up Liberia. This shit explains it right here. I know your tribe is the reason why Liberia is fucked up. I agree. I'm like, Kala, you don't know what you're talking about, Kala. Be nice, Kala. But I completely agree with Kala now. Elvis, your tribe, when they got into power in Liberia in 1980 and started that coup, I could see why that shit went straight to hell. And you threw your rock and now you're here in America.
Dynasty. Anybody who prefers to be right rather than to speak the truth, they're bad for anybody they're around, right?
Two things can be true at the same time. They met in Singapore before they went to South. Before Trump went to South Korea.
Elvis,
where did Trump land? Did he land in North Korea? The DMZ is not officially part of North Korea like that. It's a demilitarized zone. He didn't land in Pyongyang. Did Trump land in Pyongyang or did he land in Seoul?
Elvis, you clearly said that they did not meet in North Korea. I don't understand why you keep overlooking that. You said they did not meet in North Korea. I just showed you the video that they met in North Korea.
Elvis, just say, you know what? You're right, brother. I'm wrong.
He can't.
Get over it. This is ridiculous. Just say, you know what? Okay, yeah, you're right.
He can't.
Move on.
He refused to acknowledge my point that they also met in Singapore. So why should I capitulate to him?
No.
Did they meet in Singapore? Did they meet in Singapore?
Elvis, we're
Did they meet in Singapore?
Elvis,
Did they meet in Singapore? Say yes or no.
Hold on, Elvis.
Right.
Elvis.
It's his channel. Elvis, just be a man. Elvis, man up and just say, Linus, you're right.
One second, Shirley. We never denied that they didn't meet in Singapore.
Oh, so now you agree. So if you agree, I agree. There you go. If you agree, I agree. There we go.
Elvis, your argument was that they did not meet in North Korea. That was
Elvis called us liars. Elvis called us liars. We didn't accuse him of lying. He called us liars. No, they didn't.
Right.
They met in Singapore. So
Right.
Elvis,
if you consider DMZ North Korea, yeah, they met in North Korea, right?
Elvis,
if you consider that. Right.
Here we go.
But Elvis, here's the bigger
hold on.
Elvis,
What
let me say this to Elvis.
What does it say, Elvis? What does it say? Trump steps into North Korea. I mean, it's right there in front of your face, Elvis.
That's what I said. If you consider the DMZ North Korea, fine.
No. What does it
say?
What
does it say, bro? It says Trump steps into North Korea.
Read the rest,
Elvis, the problem that you have is you have an administration right now, Biden, who can't build relationships. We provided you a person who did build relationships, and then you want to ignore the rest.
Oh, Trump built a relationship with Kim Jong-un.
Let's forget Trump. Trump's not president right now. Let's talk about.
No, you said you provided us a person who built
you're
relationships.
very defensive of Biden, but
Biden wasn't most
we would
Democrats' first choice. Biden wasn't most Democrats' first choice.
If we had,
but he was better than Trump.
In office. No, you have this man in office now who's senile, who's off, who has dementia, and you want to defend him.
Yes, and Democrats wanted to get Trump out so bad that they put a man like Biden there. That's what Trump said. Can you believe I lost to Biden? Yes, he did, because he was that bad.
They stole the race.
Was that bad.
They stole the race and they rigged the race. That's why.
Oh, they rigged the election.
Shirley and Dinus. What you guys got to understand is the people who voted for Biden are exactly like him. The Democrats right now would rather let the world go to war than just admit that they've instituted some bad policies and walk back some things they've done.
You guys always cried about Democrats. They didn't do nothing for black people. What do Republicans do for black people?
Look at Elvis.
What legislation do they pass exclusively for black people? Tell me about it.
Look at Elvis.
You guys are just talking. You want to be the cool black person who's with the white people.
Elvis,
that's all you are. You're less than 6% of black people who vote Republicans.
Listen, Elvis knows he's wrong.
So 96% of black people are wrong on politics, and just you, Brandon, you're right on it.
Extremely, yes, they are wrong. They are wrong.
There you go. There's your Hebrew. Yeah, whatever you say.
But black people know that.
Is Elvis in the States or where is he located?
Of course he is.
Oh no, I don't know. I'm asking Elvis. Where are you located?
You think this guy would go live in this country that he?
I'm in Minnesota.
Oh, you're in Minnesota, but you're not born in Minnesota, right?
No, I'm not. I'm an immigrant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is what these guys. This guy knows.
A nice little check. You immigrant. You get the immigrant check.
Oh, you believe that nonsense that Tariq tell you that we immigrants get checks?
I'm not talking about Tariq. I'm talking about you. You trying to pivot the subject matter.
What checks do I get? We don't get no checks. I'm a legal immigrant.
Slaves. I'm a descendant of slaves.
No, I know that, Shirley, but I'm saying you say I get a check. What check do I get?
Because immigrants get checks.
What check?
You get check.
What check?
What check? Let's move on, Shirley. Let's move on.
I don't know about no immigrant check. I don't know about no immigrant check.
Let's move on. You mute yourself because you know you're getting the check.
Shirley, we're gonna move on.
Don't talk over it. Let it be wrong. Say you guys want to harp on me if I'm wrong. Let it be wrong. What check do we get?
Dinus, this is the difference. We'll check our person who's wrong. Him and Kofi, they'll just sit up and stay in ignorance, knowing they're wrong. If Shirley's wrong, I'm gonna say, Shirley, you're wrong. If somebody who thinks like you is wrong, Elvis, you'll say no. You'll try to move the goalpost and squint your eyes to make them right. That's the difference. You have no integrity. That's it.
Okay.
Y'all won't admit that two things could be right at the same time.
You got to check.
I said they met in Singapore. You guys said no, they didn't know they met in North Korea.
You get a check. You don't know you can get a check. You need to go to the and say, I'm an immigrant, and play the card and get a check.
No, this might be good information, Donnie. I want to hear because I want to get that check. Tell me where I can get the check from, Miss Shirley.
Hold on, BC Bar. Go ahead, BC Bar.
Go ahead, BC.
Anyway, can everybody hear me?
We hear you. Just
all right. So, greetings to every one of you. So, first of all, brother Ami, I'm going to send you an email for a very interesting business opportunity. So I will send the email. Now, so Elvis, can you hear me?
Elvis left. He left.
Oh, okay.
I'm here.
So,
I ain't leave nowhere. I'm here.
Oh, he's right there. Okay, Brandon left.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
So you want to know if Trump went to Singapore? So he did, right? But what does that have to do with anything, right? At the end of the day, in a way that other presidents were crucifying North Korea after what America did in North Korea, right? I don't even know if you know how many millions of people that were dead as a result of American war, right? So
it was a Democrat president who did that war, right?
What does it matter, bro?
No.
My God.
You guys are making the same points today that Democrats are trying to start a nuclear war. Wasn't a Democrat president who started that war?
Elvis, can she finish? Elvis, because my dad fought the Korean War. That was back in the 50s or 60s. Let's move on. Go ahead, Missy Bar. Go ahead.
You see, we as Black people, whether we are Black people in this America or all over the world, when decision about international affairs is being made, we are not even at the table. It is outrageous that we're here fighting over Biden and Trump. For all you know, both of those two guys, they talk to each other at the office somewhere, but they fight in public, right? Many of you are aware that all the senators, both your Democrat and Republican, they're supposed to be opposite, right? But many of them are sharing rooms in Washington, D.C. And here you are fighting over what? We're getting emotional over nothing. Now, when the brothers are talking to you, when they're talking to Kofi and you, Elvis, as about the transgender, I'm telling you, that is a real thing. And that is a real thing where it's going to really affect us in a very, very, very serious way. Mind you, they're not just pushing that idea here in the US, they're pushing it everywhere, right? Okay, why is it that if you want to give a right to transgender, whoever they are these days, right? Why can't you give them their own restroom? Why can't you make a restroom for them? Why must men or boys be in the bathroom with young women or with young girls, right? Do you know already, when you go to a lot of the malls these days, you will just see somebody that look like a male. Literally, the only thing that is different is because they have a paint walking to women's restroom. You can't even question why you're here, right? So, and those are all Biden's law. These are Democrat law, right? All this other degenerate law that they are passing is affecting us the most, Black people. You are the one that refused to take your children out of public school. You are the one that can't work together where you can have school for your own kids, right?
What's your foundation that is wrong? Is it the Bible? Is it the Quran?
Listen. Do you need to be a Christian?
No, I'm a Christian. I'm telling you. Hold on. I'm asking a question. I'm a Christian, right? If you're trying to implement your religious view, it's not allowed in the United States. This is the country that you live in. If your view is based on religion, the Constitution not a respect.
Hold on 1 second. Missy Bar, I'm sorry. Hold on 1 second. Elvis, do you have a daughter?
Nope, I have a son.
Okay, when you have a daughter, do you want a man in the same changing space, butt naked, swinging with a wig on, in that same changing space with your daughter?
No, I don't.
Listen.
Why are you arguing?
That's the point that I'm. Okay, listen now. This is the point I'm making. We live in America.
Okay, hold on. One more second. So Elvis.
Right.
Say your daughter plays softball. Say your daughter decides she wants to do swim. Say she decides she wants to do volleyball. Do you want a man who identifies as a woman, but just a man with? Do you want a man with a wig competing with your daughter?
Like I said, Dynast, no, I don't. You're not understanding it. I'm not arguing from a personal point of view. My point here is you have these, Christians or Muslim who thinks it's against the Lord of God. No. Hold on.
Elvis, I'm not a Christian or a Muslim. All right. Missy Barber ain't. I don't think Missy Barber is a Christian or a Muslim. I don't know.
Oh, I'm a Muslim.
She's a Muslim. I'm not a Christian. You don't have to be a Christian or a Muslim, Elder, to know
But am I not a
that
woman?
a man should not be sharing a space, even if he identifies as a woman, with a biological woman. A biological man should not be sharing intimate spaces with biological
women. You say that, Brandon, right? You say that, and that's fine. I agree with that point. But you have girls who are gay. Hold on. You have girls who have friends who are gay who have sleepovers. Do they get raped?
What does that have to do with
No. I'm giving you an example. You say you don't want them sharing personal spaces, right? But that happens, and nobody get raped. People get raped by women. Get raped by straight men all the time. Do they not? Most of the rapes that happen between straight men and straight women. Who's the men doing the raping to the woman?
That is a lie.
That's a lie. So is gay men raping women? That's gay men. Is majority of the rape is gay men raping women, right? Is that what it is?
Elvis, we got to I can't. But this is the thing. This is who, and I you know.
I'm going to respond to what he says. If he's still on the channel, he can hear me. Black people, the state of our lives today is as a result of this type of mentality. You understand me?
Preach, girl. Go on, tell the truth.
Listen, 10 years from now, we're going to regret many of these, our inability to say no when we knew what is actually right.
We are regretting what we did 10
me?
years ago.
Let me tell you.
10 years ago.
Let me tell you. Do you know my last job where I used to work, okay? Mm-hmm. There was a young black male that supposedly had a sex change, right? When women are getting dressed, right? When they're doing their changing, he will stand there washing everything. Because he has already had the sex change, I don't think the information is connecting to them that this guy is still at a real core of him is still a man, right?
Right.
So whenever I walk in there, if I want to go and wash my hands, what I used to do is really just take a serious look at him. And you can see the way he's looking at these ladies, that this is still, at the core of him is still a man. I don't want to hear that story that now that they have moved from being from a male to female by the way of surgery, that they already forget what it means to be a man. Get out of that. And many of them are not even doing that sex change. They're not doing it anyway. And so what if they do it? Make their own bathroom for them. Why should I walk into a bathroom and I'm going to see this is a man? I'm at home. I'm not going to be in the bathroom with my brother. I'm not going to be in the bathroom with any other stranger. When I go to the bathroom, I go into the bathroom by myself. Why should I allow this in public? Why is this okay?
And you shouldn't. Let me tell you, in Los Angeles, there's a spa called We Spa. It's a Korean spa, and they have a male section and a female section. Well, one of those particular days, there was one of those transvestites, and they wanted to be on the female side. And on the female side, in the area where you wash and take baths, he was naked with them. And so one of the ladies ran out, who I know personally, her name is Christina. She videotaped the front desk and said, there is a man in the women's section who said he's a woman, and he's ding-a-lings hanging everywhere. And we have young women in here and some young girls. And we want to know, do you support transgenders in women's sectors? And so they said, well, we open to everybody. They said, but do you support transgenders in a female bath sector? They could not answer that question, and other women would come in, and people were just leaving. They were leaving until there's enough of us who are outraged to understand that this is not right. People who are speaking like this sister speaking here, and like I've been speaking, then you can forget it. Because then one day it's going to affect you, your children, or your niece or nephew.
Mind you, if you all remember, it was a couple of months ago. It might be like 4 months, 6 months now. There was a young man that was arrested. He was a white boy, and he claims to be transgender, right? But he was arrested for rape.
Right? Yes, I said that earlier. Yes,
remember?
Yes,
these are things that are going on. They get to change their situation for wherever the mood, whatever they are feeling in the mood. Why should we accept this? Right? And do you know every degenerate thing they ever introduce? They always say that they need Black people's support. Good evening, ma. They always say they need black people's support, and you will see us supporting them. And almost always, those people are always against us. Almost always.
Let's preach.
What is this? What is this?
I'm gonna tell you what it is. Is their opportunity to say we're gonna ride on the crime, we're gonna ride on the civil rights laws that were set in place for descendants of slaves. Let's ride on that and say that we're a victim too. We're just like you. We want to be part of your family. That's a bullshit. You are just delusional minded person that wants to invade in someone else's spaces that just don't want you there, and you shouldn't be there. You just shouldn't be there.
This past weekend, right, I went to an event in my neighborhood. So I decided, they said they're having an event at my local library. I said, let me go there and see what they're doing. But when on my way, I just decided to just look at my phone, and I was looking at what the event is about and what time they're going to close. And on the library, on their webpage, where they list all the books for children, is everything about LGBT. There is nothing else. All the 4 books that were listed was all about LGBT. Is there nothing else about sex in America that the children need to learn anymore? These children cannot even read their 2 + 2. They don't even know how to read properly. But they know how to use a condom. They know how to, and then at the same time, we're talking about teachers raping children. Do black people actually know what they're supporting?
From the full perspective, I would say no, they don't. They don't know the impact. They're not thinking of the impact. They're not thinking of the laws. They're not thinking of how that candidate's ideology mind is going. All they're thinking about is, I don't like Trump, or I don't like so-and-so. But you can't tell me the why are you voting for that candidate or those policies.
Take a look at this. First of all, Biden, whether we like it or not, Biden has dementia. Biden has Alzheimer's. They're not going to tell you the full impact of his Alzheimer's now until he gets out of office.
Right.
Find that this man has Alzheimer's.
That's true.
He can barely string words together.
Come on, he can barely see what wall he's going to walk in. Somebody's got to turn him around. It's embarrassing. So what is happening in this country and the world? The world looks at this as an opportunity to see America as a weak entity. America is now looked at as a weak entity. And now you have Russia and Ukraine, and you have China and Taiwan. All that stuff is going to affect us in some way. And he's going to try to pull us into this war. Keep in mind that Biden is sending drones into Ukraine to go help Russia. How does that look for us?
Mind you, in the meantime, while they're sending drones, what is going on in America right here? The food prices are high. A lot of farmers they don't have enough, for the people. The gas prices are high, right? This is all under Biden. You don't get to blame Trump for this one.
No, you get to have open borders and have more and more people come in and get special privileges. The Afghanistan are getting apartments in California for $4,700. How is it that you're able to take immigrants, illegal immigrants, and you can't look at the black people who are homeless in this country? It's twisted.
Listen, you do not have to like Trump. Nobody claimed. Trump is not coming to my house. He's not my priest. I'm not going to confess to him if I commit a crime, right? Neither is he going to confess his crime to me. But if you look at Biden policy, now you go all the way from the time he get to Congress. His policies has always been anti-black, period. That man hate us to the extent. Now, remember how hypocritical Biden is? Everything that he punished black people for was happening inside his own house. His children are drug addicts. They are into all manner. Okay, is everyone to tell me that he supports by these children what they're doing? Because Biden and his children are one.
Look, right? I will say this much so that you understand how Black Americans being born and raised in this country, and not in defense of the ignorancy, but I would say a lot of people really did not understand policy and education. How we are educated in America does not lead us on that road of accountability. We weren't raised as children to say, hey, this is the person you vote for. What do you think of that? None of that was in place for us. We were teaching us things that some of us don't even use, calculus and geometry and other things that we should have been learning, accounting. We should have been learning who these policymakers were. How do they affect our life?
Their homes.
This was not taught. This was taught. Now, for me, that's a whole nother story. I was taught about politics back to the 6th grade. And so I was conscious like that. I was just that kind of a conscious kid where I talked about policies in the 6th grade. But I would tell you, most Americans, thank God for social media. Thank God for women like yourself. Thank God for China's channels like Dynast, where we have these discussions and minds are being awoken to the lack of your responsibilities. These are the outcomes that we're having. If you want to know about the crime bill, if you want to know why Hillary called Black people super predators,
yes,
this is because you have not been studying and doing your homework. I said this on the Don Lemon show in 2016 with my sons. And I went on there and I said, you realize that Hillary called Black people super predators. And the producers in their ear were frantic because they didn't expect me to say that. But then that conversation.
No, because they want you to be quiet.
Say it again.
No, they want you to be quiet.
Oh, yeah, they want you to be quiet or they got to come back with an answer. See, when you tell them policies and true guidelines, how do you argue that? When people want to say, well, that's not true. Well, let me give you the policy number. Let me give you the date. Let me give you the candidate. Let me give you the issue. When you provide true facts, how do you fight that? You can't. Most Black people don't know that the Bidens have never been pro-Black. Neither have the Clinton. They've been play-Black. This is how you play off of Black people to get what you want.
What? If you remember in the 90s when he was in the Congress talking about Black folks, I didn't say it, right? I didn't say it, but I saw his video later. He said, I knew what happened to them, but I don't want them to go and rape my mama and my children. Who is the rapist now? Is that not your son? Right? Who is the criminal now? Look at everything that his son has done. And yet he's still not in prison. And this is what Black people have to realize. You have that right now. Americans said, okay, weed is now legal in most states, right? But yet Black people are still being arrested for it.
It's true.
All the people that were in jail in the 90s are still there. What are we talking about? It was as a result of his policy.
But we're not holding him. But see, again, there's no accountability. No one's holding him accountable to the current policies that he's enforcing or the previous policies. They just voted, I just don't like Trump. That is an irresponsible response to a candidate that you dislike. Then look at the one that you're going to vote for. Is the better of two evils? That's why I was a child. Politics is always the better.
Let me play this video and then read about the We Spa incident. Shirley, I didn't know this happened. This is and Shirley, and Shirley, there were protesters who were actually defending the man with the penis that was acting like a woman that were starting fights in front of the spa.
Well, you know, I know Christina, who is the one who videotaped the lady, and if you want her on your show, I can get her on your show. Play this video.
I'm about to play the video right now. Hold on one second, guys. Give me a second. Let me play this video real quick.
She's Black. Christina's Black.
You see?
It's okay for a man to go into the women's section, show his penis around the other women, young little girls underage. Your spa, We Spa, condone that. Is that what you're saying? You got a man with his penis talking about he's a woman. He ain't no woman.
It's buffering a lot, but yeah, that was crazy. Diallo, go ahead, Diallo.
Yo, I think Gas was first.
Okay, go ahead, Gas.
I appreciate you, brother Diallo. I just want to say these points very quickly, and I hope whoever's listening, shout out to everybody on the panel and people in the chat. Let's not be sensitive. Let's try to keep an open mind and understand. My position is that I think what we're seeing gradually is the breakdown of the American empire, and it you know, empires. When you look at the British Empire, it seemed that it was agreed upon that America would replace the British Empire, and it seems that there's a fight going on between different factions, those that are of a globalist perspective and those that are of a local perspective in the United States. And it seems like the globalist agenda is very, very powerful, and they have many allies, and you know, they don't really care too much about the nation state. called the Republic of the United States of America. That's not really something that they're too worried about. And unfortunately, the black people who contributed to, it largely contributed to building the Republic of the United States are in a situation where the system no longer needs them. The system has excluded them since Nixon decided to take the factories over to China in 1970. And China was selected as the new place for American manufacturing, which the rise of China actually was upon the backs of black people in America. So that, I think that's what we're seeing on that macro scale. In reference to the topic with Kanye, I saw the Drinks Champ interview he did. I think that the truth of the matter for me is that we don't have power, right? There's no power. There's no black power is just something we shout at rallies. We really don't have power. And I think when we realize our powerlessness, then perhaps we can start to figure out ways to achieve that power. Kanye in that interview kept on emphasizing, him and Noriega kept on emphasizing this thing of the culture. And it's sad, and I've said it so many times, and again, I hope people aren't sensitive when I say it. Culture is not music. If you're saying that culture is Kanye West and Noriega and rap music and hip hop and nonsense like that, then it's manufactured, because all of these things are created in literally. Dr. Dre says he wears a lab coat. Like, think about that, right? He wears a lab coat. I mean, in the club video, like, these people are manufacturing. If that's what the culture is, then it's manufactured culture. It's a commodity that is consumed. Ironically, the largest consumers of so-called black culture are white people, because it fits neatly into how white people want to perceive what blackness is in America. And when I say it that there's no culture, people get sensitive and offended. And I'm not saying it to dismiss or insult or hurt anyone's feeling. I'm saying it as a wake-up call to say, listen, look, whether it's FBA, whether it's ADOS, I don't care what you create something new. Create a body, create an elder system, and start coming up with new directives to say, listen, we are the new FBA from such and such place, and this is who we are. This is what we are about. Get away from blackness. I'm sorry to say that. It's not saying, and again, I'm not saying this from arrogance or to insult anybody, but if blackness is the commodity that is created in the laboratories of white industrialists and white capitalists, which it seems to be, because everyone points to blackness is just pointing to the electric slide, it's pointing to LeBron James, it's pointing to Kanye West. Get away from these people. When you start to define who you are amongst the different localities, that is why I always point out to W.E. Du Bois when he said the Philadelphia Negro, which it showed that the Negro in Philadelphia had a distinct behavior, structure, and rule than the Negro in Texas, or the Negro in South Carolina, or the Negro in Oklahoma. There was a difference, and I think it sounds tribal, but I think that's what has to be done in order to start getting those communities back on track. Because now when black people in America start segregating themselves from what the white media and the white corporations define as blackness, and start saying, no, blackness is, not what you show on TV. Yeah, so you can get Lupita, you can get whatever black Brit you want, you can get whatever Uncle Tom sellout celebrity to represent us, but that ain't us. They don't have our stamp of approval. They're not from this new distinct tribe. This tribe, the boys aren't putting their pants on their butt. The girls aren't shaking their ass saying they're FNF. Mm-hmm. The girls aren't sitting out there at the abortion clinic making songs about getting rid of babies. The boys aren't talking about their steppers and killers. That is not us. This is who we are. We go to school. We respect our elders. Exactly. We help each other. So this community is like this. This is what we do. This group over here. So they may look like us, but they are not us. And that's great. You can put them on TV all you want. We don't consume like that. We don't follow them. Create a new culture, and it's going to be local. That's just what I've been screaming. I've been saying it. And I hope black people in America, because I'm a tether, right? I hope black people in America can do that. But if you going along with what they're calling blackness today, like that nonsense in that interview with Kanye West is basically saying, it's a rabbit hole that you ain't gonna win, because them white folks are not gonna let it go, as Kanye West is figuring out the hard way. I want to take the culture back, dude. You ain't gonna win that, because they own it. They own the industries that create what you're saying you're trying to take. That's all I wanted to put out there.
We have to do better.
All right, go ahead, Diallo. Go ahead, Diallo. Diallo. Can't hear you, Diallo. Can't hear you. Go ahead, Kofi.
The sister wanted to ask me a question because she lied about Brandon scamming you. Brandon's a joke. He just said slavery was good. So I know the sister wanted to ask me questions. I'm not scared of Republicans. I ain't scared of nobody. So I know the sister wanted to ask me questions. And so what was the question you had to ask me? Because all I'm saying, when Diane was saying what Trump ran on, that was this campaign mantra, make America great again, right?
Okay.
So I will ask any Republican. I met honest Republicans. Most of you guys aren't honest. I met honest Republicans saying, hey, look, I know what the guy means. I met an older gentleman, fisher, because I fish, older gentleman. He said, hey, look, I voted Republican because, hey, look, I'm in the oil industry. I'm in the gas industry. And they were pro, fossil fuel. Now, I understand other things that, that goes along with it I don't like, but this is what I voted for. I couldn't be mad at the man. I didn't do what y'all doing. I didn't dogpile him. I didn't degrade him. I didn't do any of that. There's other things that I felt he made a selfish decision, but it's his decision. And I understand why he did it.
Kofi,
and as a brother, I'm not going to demonize him.
Kofi, you said you want to address the sisters. I'm going to ask a question and I'm going to have to go.
Okay.
Dinus, thank you so much for letting me be on your show. Kofi, I am a Republican. I am a conservative. I'm not a wishy-washy. I was a Republican before Trump was on the scene. Okay. Very active in my Black community in Los Angeles. Those who know me on the street, I'm very passionate and real about my people. When it comes to policies that we are under right now, I'm not talking about Trump anymore. I want to talk about Biden. When it comes to policies, when you know that this man has a history, you seem like you're a knowledgeable man. You seem like you're a man who does his homework. When it came to Biden, did you do your homework to realize that, like the sister said earlier, this man did not put any policies in place to better the lives of Blacks in America? If anything, he put things that devastated us, that was detrimental to us. And yet you still stand behind the back of this man. I just want to know why.
Well, you just saying that I stand behind him like that, and again, that's false. Now, Dinus knows me, Brandon knows me, and again, you're going to agree. It's like my 8th time saying this. I voted for, just like how Dinus has buyer remorse when it comes to Obama, and Brandon has buyer remorse when it comes to Obama. I had buyer's remorse for Obama before he was even inaugurated. But I'm not even going to get into that. But you guys were gun-ho Obama the whole time. But I'm not beating y'all over the head about that. The reason why I voted for Biden, right, is because, and you're your head in the sand the whole time. The only reason why I voted for Biden, yes, was a middle finger for Trump for all the criminality and the things that Trump was doing. The only thing I hear Republicans saying that was good about Trump, and liberals and Democrats say this too, it was good for the economy because he was giving all those tax breaks and people were doing doing these
Kofi, can I ask a question? Kofi,
yes.
Kofi,
yes.
Real quick. You brought up criminality. What has Trump been convicted of?
Stop asking a stupid loaded question. That's like saying someone saw me rob the liquor store. My fingerprints is all over the place. They got a video camera of me, but because the cop didn't read my Miranda rights and the case was dismissed, that means I'm innocent. That's a stupid question, Dinus. That's a stupid question. Yes, it is. Because you say conviction equals guilt. That's not true, and you know that.
So what do you think of Biden's son then? If you're saying that you can just accuse Trump, which is all right, as far as I'm concerned, they all one are the same. How about all the criminality that Biden's son has actually been involved in up to this moment? Does he deserve to be investigated? Does he need to go to prison?
What does Biden have to go to prison for? I'm
talking about his son, his own son.
Hunter Biden. Okay, Hunter Biden is not a politician. Now, if Hunter Biden was found doing something wrong, right? F Hunter Biden. I don't care. Hunter Biden doesn't make policies, right? Trump's children, right here in New York, they're being charged for tax evasion. So right? For all the criminal activity.
They're not being no. They're not being
Biden I say something about that. On the other hand, y'all get upset.
Kofi, it's a civil lawsuit. It's a civil lawsuit. Kofi, slow down. It's a civil lawsuit. I could right now.
Yes, it's a civil lawsuit.
That's not being charged. It's civil.
So will you not say?
I'm using the same thing that you're doing.
Listen. Will you not say the same thing that is happening to Trump's children needs to happen to Biden's son?
If they're guilty, yes. Why don't they? Okay, so my question is, when Hunter Biden, all that's going on to Hunter Biden, the Republicans were in office. Why weren't the Republicans charging Hunter Biden with anything? Why did
it was suppressed, Kofi. Giuliani tried to release the laptop. It was suppressed. Listen, Kofi, I don't have a dog in the fight. I'm tired of black people getting caught up with Democrat, Republican. Exactly. But I will tell you this, Kofi. At a certain point, I just think it's politically more mature. No disrespect to you at all. I don't know you to disrespect you. I wouldn't do that. But don't you think that it's politically mature for black people to say, look, who is going to give us the best benefits? Take advantage of that person and move on to the next politician. And in hindsight, can't you say that it does seem that Trump would have been the better politician for black people to advance certain agendas in terms of economics? And then after 4 years, we reflect at the drawing board and say, hey, look, what did we get under Trump? Cool. The next politician on the Democrat side, hey, look, Trump gave us 3 shekels. How many shekels are you willing to give us? And they say, oh, we can only give you 2. All right, well, looks like Trump's getting our vote. All right, hold on, let's get back to you. We'll give you 6 shekels. Don't you think that's the better way for black people to move forward?
Yes, and if that was actually happened, but it didn't.
So in hindsight, Trump was the better candidate.
I'm going to answer you. So what actually happened? Trump had 4 years, right? He didn't do shit for black people specifically. No, it was pretty much trickle down. It was trickle down economics, right? And then
wait, hold on, time out. That statement.
2 times. Hold on, after Trump being impeached 2 times, right?
Yes, sir.
Because remember when Trump was first voted in, he didn't get the popular vote, right? He did not get the popular vote, right? So now,
but wait, hold on. You said something. You said he didn't do.
And he promised black people the 500 billion yada 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 yada.
Yeah, but wait, hold on. Wait, Sister Barra, I want to address it. Kofi, slow down, brother. Kofi, slow down. Wait, let me ask you a question because you said certain things and we got to address what you said on a fact by fact basis. Okay, you said Trump didn't do anything for black people in the 4 years. Now, the monies that was provided, however surface level or superficial they were, right? The monies that were provided to HBCUs when the funding was not there, that is one. The First Step Act. Wait, hold on. Wait. I understand that, but I'm just putting it out there, and then you can fact check it as let me give it to you.
Bro, I already know this. Talk about this on my
channel. Wait. I'll check out your channel, and you can check out mine. Right, gas them up. You guys can Google it. But what I'm saying is, okay, the money for the HBCUs, the First Step Act. Then keep in mind you had the opportunity zones, which directly was not a program for the so-called black community, but it was impacting low-income communities, which there's a sizable population of black people who live there. And brother, I didn't see. Wait, hold on.
Trickle down policies.
Wait, brother, hold on. I'm listening. I'm listening to things. I'm listening to things that was done under Trump. Then, like I said, the unemployment numbers and ironically the underemployment, because just so you guys can know, any serious economist, if they're telling you the unemployment rate is low, they're not serious. You have to check what is called the underemployment rate. You can Google it. That's the actual number. Those are people who got tired of looking for a job and dropped out of the job market. So the unemployment rate doesn't tell you the whole picture. The underemployment rate for Black people has historically and always been, I believe, since those factories left Detroit and went to China, has been in double digits. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, under Trump, not only was the unemployment, yet the underemployment rate for African Americans were also, the unemployment was at its lowest rate, and the underemployment was in a single digit.
That's another
so no,
farce.
So
That's
what's a
from the
farce? The
other
underemployment?
administration. It's
Underemployment is a farce?
It is, yes. Is it? Moment Trump got into office, the unemployment rate has been going down since the last administration. And then
Okay, I understand that, but at the end of the day, whether or not,
what policy did
that's
Trump
okay.
do for it to dramatically drop down? That's a farce.
Okay, I can tell you the policy, the policy that actually you do, and that's funny enough. No, you guys don't want to give it credit. The policy was the Tax Reduction Act, which, again, if you're in business, set up your LLC. Once you start making over a certain money, get your S corp. Once you start making over a certain money, get your C corp. Because what Trump did. Wait, hold on. Wait, let me tell you, sir. Slow down. Let me tell you. If you have a C corp, you're only taxed 21% on profit, not on gross revenues. And when you're an S corp, what happens is you hit a certain max in terms of your deduction. So a lot of states on the East Coast and other states lost those SALT deductions, those state and local tax deductions. But they complained about that. But ironically, because the corporate taxes were lower, that actually allowed corporations to be able to afford to hire more employees, which again, in turn,
the idea that happened. So when
that did happen
for corporations,
but it did. But the unemployment rate went down.
They say if we give them on corporate bailouts, right? And they'll do that.
No, but the corporate bailout is not the same as a tax cut.
People to stimulate the economy.
But that didn't happen under Obama.
They bought their own stock.
I understand that. Kofi, listen, if we're gonna have the conversation, I need you to absorb just like I can absorb what you're saying. I'm saying that again. The C corp rate was reduced to 21%, which showed that corporations now could afford, because they weren't paying the old rate, which was, I believe, 30-something%. They now were able to hire more. When you gave the bailouts during Obama's time, they didn't hire more, like you said, they bought more stock. But under Trump's administration, that lower tax rate for corporations.
They did the same thing under Trump, bro. What are you talking about?
What did they do is the same thing under Trump?
They bought, when Trump gave them those tax rate and taxes, all the money they saved, they were they were buying their own stocks to inflate.
So they didn't go on or they didn't increase the hiring rate. Are you trying to say that under Trump's tax cut, that employment numbers didn't go up? Is that what you're trying to say for the record?
In the beginning, like I said
no, sir. We're talking about the C corp rate. 21%. Are you saying
I'm not that familiar with that specific number?
Then get familiar with it and don't argue in the dark.
We got past the gas. Kofi, you and Elvis are not familiar with the lot. Go ahead, Diallo.
Yo, what up? You hear me?
I hear you loud and clear. Go ahead, brother.
Right, yo, what up? First of all, I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I've not voted since 2004. I'm happy as hell to look my kids in the eyes when I have them and tell them I never voted for Obama. Sorry, Dynast, wasn't no tears flowing down my eyes when he won. You heard? Wasn't none of that going on. You feel me? Right? My mother.
You are crying?
I was, listen, I shed a tear. Listen.
Listen, when
they were at Lake Michigan, when they were in Chicago, I think at Lake Michigan, I saw Oprah Winfrey in the front row. I saw Jesse Jackson in the front row. I saw them all in the front row. I was crying. Yeah, I was.
Hey, Dynast.
Let me say this, and I'm going to get out. Obama broke a lot of our.
Not mine.
He disappointed all of us, and he will forever regret what he did. I don't think he realized the impact of that betray. That we trust you, we voted for you. By 2012, I was done with Obama, period. I no longer want to hear what he has to say anymore. See you guys later. Good program.
Okay, go ahead, Diallo.
Hey, Dynast, when you was crying like remember when Terrell Owens was crying for Tony Romo? He's like, that's my quarterback. He had them tears like,
Go ahead.
But yeah, so my mother, she's born in the 40s, right? She's from Jersey, and like, you feel me? Like she told me, she was like, yo, go out, vote for Obama. I'm like, yo, ma, he's not doing anything for black people. He's not doing anything. She's like, nah, vote for him. He's he's gonna make a change. Watch. I was like, all right, ma, I ain't voting. She voted for him. Starting in 2012, it's been RRRR for her. She's like, yo, I've been voting Democrats my whole life. I've not seen any changes. I'm going the other way. Like, that's just how it is. So with the Democrats, with these agendas that they push, they always push this gay stuff on us. Like, I got a homeboy who works at a pretty large, well-respected organization, and they had an all-staff meeting, and they told them that in their email signatures, they should start using he and she so they could be allies with these people, right? And I'm like, did anybody speak up and say, yo, this is BS? He was like, nah. So people are afraid to speak up against this stuff because they know they could lose their jobs. They could be ostracized. They could be, quote unquote, canceled. So this mafia is very powerful. So what I wanted to read was from the 1972 Gay Rights Platform. It's the platform created at the National Coalition of Gay Organizations convention held in Chicago, right? Federal level. Number 1, amend all federal civil rights acts, other legislation, and government controls to prohibit discrimination in employment, housing, public accommodations, and public services. Issuance by the president of an executive order prohibiting the military from excluding for reasons of their sexual orientation persons who of their own volition desire to enter the armed forces. 3, issuance by the president of an executive order prohibiting discrimination in the federal civil service because of sexual orientation in hiring, promoting, etc. 4, elimination of tax inequities victimizing single persons and same-sex couples. 5, elimination of bars to entry, immigration, and naturalization of homosexual aliens. 6, federal encouragement and support for sex education courses prepared and taught by gay women and men, presenting homosexuality as a valid, healthy preference and lifestyle as a viable alternative to heterosexuality. 7, appropriate executive orders, regulations, and legislation banning the compiling, maintenance, and dissemination of information of an individual's sexual preferences, blah, blah, blah. 8, federal funding of aid programs of gay men's and women's organizations designed to alleviate the problems encountered by gay men and women. 9, immediate release of all gay men and women now incarcerated in detention centers. Now, at the state level, they also wanted to repeal all state laws prohibiting private sexual acts involving consenting persons, repeal all state laws prohibiting solicitation for private voluntary sexual liaisons, and laws prohibiting prostitution, both male and female, enactment of legislation prohibiting insurance companies and any other state regulated enterprises from discriminating because of sexual orientation. 5, enactment of legislation so that child custody, adoption, visitation rights, foster parenting, and the like shall not be denied because of sexual orientation or marital status. 6, repeal of all state laws prohibiting transvestism and cross-dressing. 8, repeal of all legislative provisions that restrict the sex or number of persons entering into a marriage unit and the extension of legal benefits to all persons who cohabit regardless of sex or numbers. Now, if you remember, on the Black Lives Matter website, they had like this weird description of family where they kind of described that number.
Right.
8.
They said they're against the nuclear family and against patriarchy.
Yeah. Now, number 7 on state law is probably the most relevant. It says repeal of all laws governing the age of sexual consent. Right. So this was written in 1972. We're 50 years later. And basically everything I read off that list has passed. It's come to pass. So they have these organizations, right, to push this stuff. Well, where's the black organizations where we could go down bullet by bullet from 1972 or 1974 to say, okay, this is what black people wanted back then. It's 50 years later. This is what black people have now, right? So
I can address that when you're done, Kofi.
Yo, please don't call me that, bro. Don't.
My apologies, Diallo. My fault, Diallo. No disrespect.
It's all good. So don't
call me Diallo either, man.
So speaking of people like Kofi and the other guy, Elvis, see, these are the people you need to worry about. Like these Africans who are here in the United States who
Wait, you just said you're not a Republican, but you get on the Republican bandwagon.
Yo, Kofi,
You're
please,
Republican in
please.
sheep's clothing?
Yo, can I finish? Yeah,
Let the brother finish, man. Let the brother finish.
Yeah, that's that feminine Democrat energy. But so what I'm saying is like these Africans that are here that are going through these schools and these systems, these are the people who are going to go back and push that stuff. Matter of fact, Dynas, who's that guy that does Jolly that you're friends with? That old guy?
Melvin Foote.
Yeah, Melvin Foote. Yali, for those who don't know, was the Young African Leadership Initiative, which was started by Obama. It was a State Department program where they bring these Africans over to the United States, to Washington, D.C., I think, and other places for a few weeks every summer, and they work on tackling issues in their country. Now, I went to one of their breakout sessions in 2017, and when most of the people, 90% of the people that went up, they were talking about human rights. Now, they weren't necessarily talking about this LGBT stuff from the one that I heard, but a lot of them were talking about women's rights. So you have these groups that are conditioning these Africans to go back to those countries, and those are the people that they look up. So they're going to be bringing this degeneracy with them, and those are the next generation's leaders. So people like Elvis and Kofi, who try to like half say they're against it, but they still vote for these guys who push it, who, by the way, are pushing it very strong in Africa. Those are the dangerous people. Even these young Africans that are in these colleges and universities now, I talk to them, and a lot of them are okay with this stuff. You say the F word around them, they're going to say, oh, you can't say that. Or they'll go to work and they'll be giving out gay t-shirts, and they'll wear them just because they feel that they have to. And people like Philip Lindsay, who I normally agree with, he's saying that this trans stuff isn't a real issue. I wholeheartedly disagree. If it wasn't a big issue, if it was a non-issue,
I disagree with him too. I disagree with that too.
Yeah, I'm like, why are they going so hard to push it if it's a non-issue? Why are they forcing, countries to adopt this, or threatening to withhold aid if it's a non-issue? And when I was in school, huh?
Oh no, go ahead. You ain't finished it. Okay.
Yeah, when I was in school, I never heard about none of that stuff. Like we ain't rock with that. There was a couple of gay dudes that was running around, but they did what they did in the closet, and that's what they did. Like nobody bothered them, whatever. But now when you force it on people, that's why there's so much of an uprising, because when you start talking about kids and you forcing people to be he, she's, and you can't say you against this or you lose your job, that's when people get pissed off. I rest my case.
Good. So let me respond to what now.
No, I wanted to answer this question quickly, Kofi, before you respond.
What he's going to say, because he just did a bitch ass cowardly assassination. He's going to come on here, pretend he's not a Republican. Then he's going to pick up some orange pom-poms and put on a fucking mini skirt and go and go Trump and all this other shit.
Yo, so Dynas, you know what the funny thing is? Most black people around the world are socially conservative. So I guess they're all Trump fans.
Now you have no discipline because you can't. You said be quiet. You talking? I stop. That's what a man do. Stop being a fucking beta.
I owed you one.
Like I said, see, you can't control yourself. That's feminine energy. Like I said before, I don't agree with it. And I'll ask you, Dynas, or everybody, since we all on the same accord, unless y'all want to disagree, just for the sake of disagreeing, then I'm just talking until I'm blue in the face. It doesn't matter. So since we all agree to this, that we disagree with it, you're on different sides of the aisle. How would we combat this? Because y'all very polarized. As Republicans, y'all very polarized, and y'all don't think of nuance. Not everybody in most people in the Democrat, I'm in both spaces. I listen to Republican talk radio. I listen to liberal radio. I listen to all of that. Y'all can't say that. And there's a lot of Democrats that don't agree with it. Just like in y'all camp, y'all got people that fuck with Trump and people that don't fuck with Trump. Y'all got infighting in your own camp, right? So I'm saying that to say, if you guys want to get me on the Republican side, right? How do we fight this? Since we all disagree with it, what do we do to combat this? No one has an answer.
No. But Kofi, the problem is you say you disagree. Okay, you say you disagree with it, but that was Joe Biden's #1
That's
Like,
your
that was
opinion,
his
and you
agenda.
can be
That was
stuck
his
on that.
number one
Now,
priority.
moving forward, how do we move forward? So should I beat you in the head about Obama, all the
Kofi,
fucking things Obama did, and you
well,
voted
Kofi,
for him?
remember,
But you don't want to
No. But I tell you the difference. Hold on one second. But
That's
Kofi, I
talking
tell you
about
this. But
accountability.
Kofi,
I'm
I
the
tell
only
you the
one that's
difference.
supposed to be accountable.
But Kofi, I tell you the difference between me and you though. Like after 08, nobody had to come to me and beat me over the head, and I didn't argue him down. Oh, this Obama, he's the first black president, man. How dare you? And oh man, I just, because of George Bush. I said, like, I went cold turkey. Like, I'm done with Obama.
And unlike
Kofi, you asked the question. I want to answer your question.
Obama wasn't even inaugurated yet, and I was done. I didn't
I want to answer your question.
when Obama became president. That's
Congratulations,
the difference
Kofi.
between you and me when it comes to Obama. So I'm way ahead of you when it comes to Obama.
Kofi, you asked the question. I want to answer it.
Yes, brother. Yes, go ahead.
Kofi, congratulations that you saw the light before me. Congratulations, brother. Good job.
Yes, but I'm mature enough not to beat that over your head. Now, if I'm saying, look, I don't like what the fuck Joe Biden is doing.
But see, Kofi, the difference is if you beat it over my head, I'm gonna agree with you. Like, okay, you right.
Okay, brother.
Kofi, here's the thing. Look, if you remember in my earlier rants, right, I said that, and again, I have to preface it. I'm tired of prefacing it, but this is not said to be mean or disrespectful. There is no black culture. There's none of that stuff because, or black community or black power. It's just slogans that we talk about. You look at Obama. Obama is an example of what I was saying, that blackness is this corporate thing that's consumed, right? Obama's from Hawaii, as Kanye West said in that interview, or he might be from somewhere else. Who knows, right? But he's from Hawaii, allegedly. Raised in Hawaii around predominantly white people. Exactly. He goes to Chicago. All of a sudden, people associate Obama with Chicago because there is no Chicago tribal situation there that says, wait a minute, if you ain't from the soil or you haven't gone through this process, you got to be one of us. So the system knows that all you got to do is to get any black person who's you want them to influence. You can either use the entertainment, but with the case of Obama, put them in a black church that's a little bit, out there where they're fighting for black rights, like they did with Jeremiah Wright. They get him a black wife and all this other stuff. And within a year or two, so within a year or 2 years, black people, because there's no real tribal and tribalism has its problems too, but because there's no real board of directors or organization, real like grassroots, right, that says, hey, wait a minute, we the Chicago tribe, right? This guy ain't one of us. I don't care how you parade him. I don't care how many community board meetings and how many turkeys he didn't give up. He ain't one of us. And until black people can do that, that's one. In terms of the African elite, like my brother Diallo was saying, look, Diallo, not all Africans is on that time. Like Sister Ibarra, she comes on. She's definitely not on that time. But you got to understand, Diallo, and I'm sure you know, the African leaders, the sellout leaders that we have now, their children are the ones going to those Yali conferences. So it's the same cycle that's never going to end. Nigeria right now is under massive flooding. I sent it to Dynast. I don't know if you got the email, Dynast. We got massive flooding.
Like 9 states?
Dude, I didn't even send you the videos. It's so bad. I mean, there's ladies who were killed in their sleep, pregnant mothers. I can send you the videos. It's graphic. There's dead bodies. The ladies is sitting there in their sleep, pregnant, the baby right next to them. They said their prayers and they died, right? Now, here's what happened, Dynast. In 1982, Cameroon built a dam. The agreement was that Nigeria was also supposed to build a dam twice as large, which was supposed to provide energy for Nigeria, and Cameroon was supposed to have their own. So when the water from the Cameroonian dam is released, it would flow into the Nigerian dam, which would absorb it. Since 1982, that dam was not completed. No one thought about completing it. The leaders who did that, who did not complete the project, their kids are in London, their kids are in America, their kids are in Oxford, their kids are in Lekki and Victoria Island. So when Gas Them Up comes on the show and starts dissing all these Lekki and Victoria Island people, and then you guys get in your feelings, you Nigerians, you start getting in your feelings. This is why I diss y'all, because y'all don't hold your uncles and your cousins and your aunts, who y'all know are a bunch of criminals, to task. Because now my village is flooded. My grandma's calling me. My village is flooded. Everybody's using using canoes and boats to get around because of nonsense. So Diallo, this is what we're dealing with. The leaders and the Africans that you see in those panels, their parents are criminals. Most of them are thieves. They're stealing government money. That's how they can afford to send their children to Yale and Harvard and Oxford and Cambridge. They grew up with a bunch of house help and maids in their house. They're really just rich, spoiled kids. But they come here and give you that fake African story. Most of them don't know their villages. Most of them don't do nothing close to being African. You understand what I'm saying, Diallo? So call them out when you see them. Say, who's your father? Who's your mother? Google their father and their mother. If they father and mother's a politician, start calling. Y'all need to start putting pressure on them too. And say, yo, listen, man, is your mother and father stealing money from the Nigerian government? How are you able to afford, the fees to come to these places? Now go back to your country and fix your country, man. Like Trump told them, go back to your shithole and live there, because that's how they're able to escape. They send their kids to America so their kids can come here and play the coon game and be, the sellouts. And then they send them back to Africa. So I'm just saying, I hope black people can start becoming tribal in America in a positive way, not with the whole FBA ADOS thing where they're just dissing the wrong people, but tribal in a positive way where it's like, yo, a guy from Hawaii can't come to your land with some black chick and do a little shimmy and go to a black church and all of a sudden he's one of y'all. Nah, you got to do much more. Does that make sense, Diallo?
There got to be more vetting.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely agree with you. I think also it's the people who have like two parents here that were born and raised here, that are like, in their 20s, that are, they've come up through this US education system to where like this stuff is okay. Like my homeboy, his daughter had a 16th birthday party. There was a dude there that was like a girl. And I was like, yo, that would have never happened when I was a kid. So a lot of these kids are desensitized to that stuff. And with the media, they don't really push black nuclear families. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I read that manifesto. You heard the part about the education, like all of that shit is happening. Like everything from 1972, basically in that thing, almost everything has happened. So when black people continue to vote for Democrats and just giving their vote blindly without getting anything, yet these other people are surpassing them, I'm like, how stupid can you be? Like at some point you got to wake up. Dynas said he woke up after 08. And Dynas, do you remember, was it in 08 in California when they had the was it Proposition 8 in California that didn't pass, something to do with gay rights or something, and then they blamed all the black people? Do you remember that? I don't know if y'all remember that, but it was something like that happened in California where the gay people blamed the black people. And the funny thing is, gassed them up. Like I think when I looked at the numbers, like 20% of gay people voted for Trump, right? Versus only, I think, 8 or 9% of black people. 33% of Hispanics voted for Trump. All the shit he was talking about them and build the wall and all this stuff. Yet we as black people, we just go into the Democrats. We just make all these, concessions for no reason. And it was really black men that have kind of started to right the ship to leave the Democratic Party. More black men are leaving than black women. So hopefully black women follow. But as far as the gay stuff, man.
Well, Diallo, here's the thing. I don't touch on those topics because those people are powerful mafia. Let me just address Kofi real quick. Diallo real quick, Kofi, just 2 seconds. I don't address them because, like I said, they're powerful mafia. Them and the other group that you can't mention, and it just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? You start playing with those people, that's how they get down, and they dangerous, and all of a sudden your house blow up. And they say it's a boiler accident. This is how these people get down. And they got sellouts amongst us who down with them. But I will say this, a lot of that stuff is population control. You heard Bill Gates for years tell us that he wants to reduce CO2. What's the number one producer of CO2 if not human beings, right? We breathe out CO2. The plants take it and create photosynthesis. We get oxygen from the plants. He's basically telling you, I want to kill human beings in the nicest, most, engineer-friendly way. Yet his other billionaire friend, the billionaire Pookie, Elon Musk, who was sleeping with the other dudes from Google, his wife, before he was, these dudes is out there putting Ray and Pookie to shame what Elon Musk is doing. But shout out to him. He just came out there and said that whole population thing is a hoax. As a matter of fact, what they're saying now is that every human being can fit in the state of Texas if they stand shoulder to shoulder. So they're promoting these things because they want population control and they want to reduce population. And unfortunately, who are the people that face the brunt? Is black people, especially in America and especially in Africa. That agenda you're talking about, you turn on Netflix, you watch these Nollywood films now, and the Nigerians don't like it when I come on here and start calling them out. You got these androgynous male characters. You got these women single. The black man the African dude is always beating the women. And I'm just like, where are you guys getting these stories from? Because I'm in Nigeria all the time. I don't see dudes just beating on their wives and wailing on women on the streets. This is nonsense. But, when you come to America and you get white people ethics and European ethics and then European mentality, you can always dress it up in black skin and sell it to our people. So it's population control. That's the game.
Yo, it's funny you say that, right? I used to date this girl and she was a real smart girl. She had a master's from an Ivy League school, right? So we were talking about population control. So I asked her 2 questions. I said, you believe in population control? I said, okay, who decides who lives and who dies? And who do you think they're going to get rid of first? She had to reconsider what she thought about population control because she knew the answer to both of them questions. You know what I mean?
Like, let me ask Diallo a question, right? Since you're a quote unquote independent, right? For someone, you say you don't vote. I get the whole not voting because a vote for a lesser evil is still evil. That's the common denominator. I get that. So you have, again, you're talking about Republicans. They're the best. They're the ones you need. Black people is gonna need to go to because they're the savior. None of y'all ever say why the Republicans are the savior, but you know why the Democrats are the devil. So I find that interesting. But the 2 extremes of both parties, right? So you got the Democrats, right? The liberal, the extreme far left, all that things you read in that manifesto. Yes, I've been talking about that before Obama legalized gay marriage, right? And I'm kind of upset about that because he didn't give it to a vote. You just made it a freaking federal law. No one had a say in it, right? So, especially the far left. So you have the far left pushing this he/she non-binary bullshit, right? And you got the extreme right who don't care about women getting raped, and you have to have rape babies and incest babies, right? So those are the extreme of the far left. I even read a story, and I forgot the state, when women go for rape kits, right? They had all these rape kits that they never sent out to find out who the rapist is. This is a Republican state. So these are the 2 extremes. So what would you say? Would you say the vote either way or don't vote at all?
I mean, I'm money gang, man. So like, I'm about my investments here. I'm about my investments in Africa. So I'm money gang. Like, none of these motherfuckers coming to my door telling me how to get money. So I don't pay them no mind, right? I don't play into that stuff. If anything, they say all politics is local. If you got a local issue that you need to vote for, I don't even do that, but I can respect that, whether it's taxes, schools, fixing the roads, infrastructure, whatever. So I don't really get into the politics, but when it comes to like, I didn't vote for Trump, but I tell you what, I live in DC. In 2020, if Trump had a chance to win DC, I swear to God, I would have voted for him. I hate Democrats so much. I despise Democrats, not the people, not like you. If you were Democrat, it's not that I hate you. I just hate the Democratic institution, everything that they stand for, everything that they haven't done for black people. So I don't rock with them on any level.
So you're more Republican than you are Democrat.
I'm a socially conservative person. Yes, I'm not a Republican. No, I'm a socially conservative person. I believe in marriage. You know, I don't believe in LGBT stuff. I don't believe in abortions. Yes, I'm a socially conservative person, but I'm not a Republican. Like, I don't.
Like, okay, like, I understand what
Yo, I don't know if it's me, but I can't hear you, yo. You breaking up.
I'm sorry. But when people say, well, I'm conservative, I believe in marriage, the family, that's not saying you specifically. I'm not saying that's what you're trying to do, but I find it to be a very disingenuous argument, because that's like basically saying it's the law of opposites. So if I'm conservative and I'm for family and family building and stuff like that, you're basically saying Democrats are the opposite. I don't know any Republicans like that personally. Most of the people that I know are Democrats, and they have those same values. You see what I'm saying?
Most of my friends are like me, right? They're college educated, you know, they make good money, you know, they have certain kind of investments and stuff like that. I could probably name one of my friends that's an actual Democrat. The other ones, they either don't vote or they don't like Democrats. Like my circle, like, we don't bang with any of that stuff. And as far as like the conservative stuff, most black people around the world would be considered socially conservative.
How so?
Because that's who we are. We're like, if you go to Africa, you want to marry somebody, like, right? My dad's from Guinea. If I go to Guinea and I take a girl out at night, right, I can't drop her off in front of her house, because if I want to take her seriously,
well, that's chivalry. That's chivalry and custom, yeah. But
that's what I'm saying. But you said how so? So I'm trying to tell you that if I want to marry a girl and her parents or my parents think we may have dated or that we had slept together, they won't let it go down. That's how conservative they are. My mother, she's from Jersey. She grew up in Jersey City in the 40s. She said, I couldn't imagine ever saying I don't need no man. In my time, we didn't live with somebody if we not married to them. If we got pregnant, we had to get married before the baby was born. Like, we didn't believe in LGBT stuff. Like, that's black people from the 50s.
Same thing with my family. The same thing with my family. It's the same thing.
So what I'm saying is that changed somewhere. That changed because of Democrats and their policies.
Well, I'm saying within the confines. Okay, so back home in our countries in Africa and the Caribbean, yes, we're more conservative, but conservatism has a different meaning there. What I'm talking about within America, conservatism is different. So if you look at the definition of conservatism, it's not to change, to keep the same, right? Yeah. The culture, right? So you're talking about the American culture. Your version of conservative and the Europeans' version of conservative are two different types of conservatism. So black people are naturally in this country liberal because we don't want to be marginalized. We don't want to be discriminated against, right? If you want that, then you will take the conservative paradigm politically. So black people are, anybody that's not a white male would be naturally liberal, because this country was made for who? What? White males. So
Dennis, I want to ask you a question. When you're done, when they're done, I want to ask you a question, Dennis.
So the further you are from a white male, the less rights you have. That's why there's amendments, right, to overturn that, so we can have certain inalienable rights. Now, there's a different argument to say, well, that ain't do nothing, but we could agree that United States, the rules only made for white men. So naturally, we would be liberal. Like me, I'm an atheist, right? In this country, I'm an atheist. If I go back to West Africa, right, I'm not an atheist. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to believe in the Orisha, in the Yoruba, and all the, because that's my people. Those are my people. But when I'm here in America, if I'm not a Christian or a Jew, I'm considered an atheist. So I understand you saying respect to you and your family. You know, saying where you're from Guinea. You said it's different, right? So if you were to take your tribal religion over here, you would be considered an atheist. You won't be considered quote unquote American. So that's not true. That's not true. Conservative within America, because conservatism within the American paradigm is a Eurocentric ideology. That's why I'm saying certain things. I understand how you can be conservative, and other things you can be liberal. I'm saying black people are mostly libertarians due to how the system is originally. So we got fools like Brandon coming on here and saying, "Oh, I don't care, slavery was good." That's some cool shit. Now, with me, I'm not a Republican, but there's a lot of things about Republicans and their values. It's the same thing back home. We're not gonna do that LGBTQ stuff. You know how many names there are for homosexuals in the Caribbean? We don't deal with that. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I wanted to say. Look, all of us agree more than we disagree. And I told a Republican this, the reason why we're butting heads, because we're trying to find a way to fit in politically, and none of them is feasible for us. They're not, you know what I'm saying? So we gotta fit in where we fit in. And I don't.
That's why money game.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, we're about to close out. Gas him up. Ask your question, brother.
Yeah, I just want you, because you dropped the video earlier. You talked about the minimum wage. Could you, if you don't mind, explain clearly what your beef is with the minimum wage?
Yes, I want to know that too, Dennis.
No, so minimum wage is intended for high school students, and minimum wage is intended for high school students and college students just to have spending money or pay bills, but primarily for, I say, high school or college students.
Well, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but again, in the history, see, because this is what I'm saying, Dennis, right? Like when you look at the history of what corporations have done in the United States, there's a reason why we have the so-called weekend. There's a reason why we had to initiate minimum wage laws. It wasn't because corporations were just these nice, like Apple didn't exist during the era of the Vanderbilts or the Carnegies. Like these guys were working people literally to death, right? And so, when these things that they fought for, such as a minimum wage, such as a weekend, like they literally only wanted to give you a few hours off on Sunday so you could go to church, so you can get right back in the factory. So I'm just saying, like, perhaps I understand what you're saying now within the American context of how the society has been structured, but to say that there's no need for a minimum wage, I mean, how do you expect?
No. I didn't say there's no need for minimum wage. What I'm saying is it should be
well for an adult, because how do you expect an adult, right? Like even if for example.
Yeah, but I never said there's no need for minimum wage. I just don't think the government should get involved when it comes to minimum wage.
But this is what I'm saying, Dennis. This is what I'm saying. I agree with you on that perspective, right? The government shouldn't be involved. I'm not a conservative or a Democrat. I think those titles don't make sense. They're silly titles. But the problem is, Dennis, is that the government did get involved because corporations didn't do what was right. Like, do you understand that part? Like, the corporations were not doing the right thing.
I understand that part, but as far as a mandatory minimum wage for $20 or $15, I just don't think it's. Or here we go. A mandatory minimum wage that's what they so-call a living wage. I just think that's not feasible.
But here's the difference. Now, when you look at a country like Germany, let's
do this. Let's do it. We can do a separate show on that because I'm about to go.
Okay, send me an email. Yeah, I know you got to run. Send me an email. Let's plan that.
Okay, so everyone, thank you so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, family, Dynasty, Search for Uhuru. Peace.
Thanks, Dynasty. Thanks, gas them up.